journey together. And good morning, everybody. Yeah.
Happy Thursday. Isn't it Thursday? It's
Thursday. And May Day.
May Day. First day of May.
We're supposed to go out and get us a maypole and go around it, right?
Right.
Okay. I think they do that at one of the nightclubs in Jackson. No, that's something different.
Yeah. It's too early.
Okay, let's do it.
We got all kinds of stuff. We've got May the 4th be with you is coming up on May the 4th. And then we've got Cinco de Mayo that's coming up.
Yes.
You just said that and I thought, oh, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo.
And
a drinking holiday.
Yep.
Is that your phone that dinged?
It did. I just turned it off. I'm sorry.
I didn't know if that was you or me.
It's me.
And Mr. Hinkle is in North Mississippi today. And he just said, let's do it. Been up since 4 a.m. listening in North Mississippi.
Good morning.
And remember, this radio station is heard nationwide and all over the world on the app at wyab.com. We are everywhere. We're also streaming on the TV here.
On Facebook.
And we're on YouTube. And we're on TikTok. We come in and out on. It's something strange about the way that works. And we're also on X.
TikTok will kick you out for depending on what you're talking about.
And as you get online and you click the like button or whatever this morning, we'll be able to know that you are there unless you have a comment. And is it hot in here?
It is.
Okay, well, I can fix that. Good morning, Anita Ford.
Good morning. Anita's my friend from Clinton, right?
Yes.
She talked about the YMCA in Clinton.
Yes.
Yesterday.
So let's see what I can tell you today.
What can you tell me today?
Yesterday,
mm-hmm.
you know, and all kind of things are going on with the election in Canton. Okay, where they're getting ready to count the votes and this, that, and the other. So everybody was in fear state. Fear state, I guess you could say, when Lawrence Blackman called a meeting last night.
Lawrence Blackman is a son or the father?
He's the son.
Okay.
And he called an emergency meeting in Canton about violence in Canton.
About violence in Canton?
So,
didn't you have some shootings over the weekend or something?
Hold on just a second. Okay. Well, on election night, he went through something that to me is sort of it's a form of PTSD.
Right.
But he also had a religious moment.
Did he?
Yes, there was a person on the ground dead. Everybody at the scene was coming up and speaking to him. The police were not gathering evidence.
Because he was so important, they all had to come speak to him?
No. The police weren't speaking to him.
Oh.
The people in Canton fear the police.
Really?
This is something that's developing in my mind, and I went, and this thing started.
So I need to apologize for that. Everybody's coming to him. He really did have
people were coming and speaking to him there on the scene. They were not talking to the police officers. And when they talked to the police chief and other people and other policemen and figures of authority, they were not getting the answers that they needed. And there were people that were witnesses that don't come forward because they're afraid that they will be arrested for an old traffic ticket or something like that.
Okay.
I say, so, you're sitting there and you got a guy that's been shot to death on the ground. And he said that he was he was at his office and he said he heard all the fires, he was like 50 shots rang out.
Right.
And he laid on the ground. And in the building, and then when it felt like it was over, you hear them speed off. You get up and you go.
Right.
So he got up and went over there, and so he walked up on the violence. And I believe 100% in what he had to say last night, because he had the pictures of, I think it was about 22 on the wall. He was speaking of the 11 unsolved murders in Canton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yet everybody knows who committed the murder, but no one has done anything about it, you know? And so he was out calling.
I'd say that's something that's gone on in that community for a very, very, very long time.
Well, so he called out the violence and he called out the perpetrators, and he's been meeting. He said he had meetings with different people at the legislature, because he is a legislator,
right?
And he was down there, and I mean, I was truly impressed with his meeting.
Well, good.
I mean, I was the passion was there.
Right.
Now, of course,
life gets a lot easier if you get on the right road and try to stay on it.
Of course, and of course,
it sounds like that might be where we're going.
And when he was putting this together, I guess you will go to your resources and who you know will show up.
Right.
So all the TV stations were there and filming.
Okay.
I mean, everybody was there because everybody was waiting on the other news story,
right,
which would have to do with politics. This thing stayed out of politics, I would say, 99% of the time. There was one exchange that was disturbed that disturbed two people, the two people involved in yelling about it. But I'm not going to get into that argument that they were having.
Okay.
But people were there. And when I got up and spoke and was asking the question of, we had 400 people in one room, well, maybe more than that. And this was called at the last minute. This was thing that was put together, and he had this place full.
How many voted?
And everybody was, but most of the crowd was women. And I asked everybody, where were the men? And I mean, I had to ask. I mean, yeah. I was like looking at all the things that were good about what was going on, but the men, there were no men there. And I said, y'all all know men because y'all have kids. That's the way that works.
Right.
And so that was something that concerned me.
I think that maybe it's time for women to start standing up and handling business and not leaving it to the men.
Well, I agree with that.
Maybe it's time for us to, I know that.
Good morning.
Maybe it's time for women to start.
Good morning, Jeannie.
Being the.
Well, I mean, it's the fact that, but I mean, we sat there and he had victim impacts. I mean, he had the mothers there of the people that had, and family members that had been, their loved one was taken from them, and they call the Canton Police Department and they get no answers. They get, there's one person that was speaking, and their person had passed away, had been murdered 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Not as much as a call, not a condolence or anything from our mayor, who cares so much about the city.
Right.
And then it was also an alderman thing. Now, one alderman, the one Tim Taylor, did make it there.
Right.
And he was speaking of all the funerals he has been to.
Right.
Right. For this. And I mean,
well, and I mean, with the police, though, you can't really blame police that are in a Democratic city run by a Democratic mayor, because, I mean, I would assume that the majority of them know that the mayor really doesn't have their back because of all of the anti-police stuff that went on 4 years ago.
But if you take this a step further, let's forget the politics.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about why police officers are not.
The biggest thing that was a problem, from what I could see he was saying, is that we're a small town. Everybody knows everybody.
Right.
So everybody covers for everybody.
Right.
That's what the problem
was. Good old boy club.
Forget the national politics. Forget everything else about it.
Okay.
This event was about the city coming to arms and doing what they need to do.
Good.
And I mean, even Walter People spoke last night for a second. He's also running. But no one got up and gave a political speech. We were all there as part of the audience.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And as things went on, we got up, we were asked questions, and we got up and spoke. And I mean, and they're talking about, they would like to see the police chief of Canton gone because of inactivity.
Mm-hmm.
And the situation is, and I've always thought, and Jay Bird's a great guy, the police chief in Canton, Otha. But I mean, they're saying when something happens and updates and stuff like that, And I know it gets old to get up and say you haven't gotten anything done, but you've got to give people updates. You've got to tell people what's going on. You've got to be involved in the community at a level that, when you hear that so-and-so was shot and blah, 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 and we have no comment.
You can't.
I mean, you can't do that.
Mm-mm.
So I was thoroughly impressed with the event, that it was not a political event, had nothing to do with the mayor's race or anything like that. It had to do with curbing violence in Canton and what we're going to do. And then, of course, he wants everybody next week that was there to be at City Hall to ask the elected officials of Canton, the mayor especially, what the hell,
Yeah, I doubt. I mean, considering that his term is over in 2 months, I doubt that.
No, but he's always out saying that they've done everything they can and this, that, and the other. He is, and for the most part, he has pulled the wool over their eyes for tons of years.
He's going to keep trying to do that.
Good morning, Jimmy Rogers. And it's just, it was a moving experience. I was there. I mean, I got there. It started at 7:00. And it was a little late because when we got there, the parking lot there was completely full. I had to block. I guess technically it was 2 blocks away is where I parked.
Right.
And this was in the area of town that is known as the I guess it would be the black side of town. Okay. Because in Canton, at one time there was a tracks. One side was black, one side was white.
Yep.
Well, anyway, it was in West Jackson on West Canton. Right. It's west. Okay.
West Canton.
And on North Street. And I went there and I was completely moved. And it was a great experience. My hat's off to Lawrence. And I've told him if he would like to come and be on the program, he can come be on the program anytime. He couldn't make it today. And I know he had reached out to Clay to be there last night, but it was a last minute thing.
Right.
And things going on. And of course, Clay's got kind of down in the back. So, but that thing was pretty good. Your car takes up 1 block. Okay. Text me, say your car takes up 1 block. But
well, that's true.
Yeah. Well, I have to go in my limousine.
You do? Well, do you have to?
Yeah. I have a flat tire on the other car.
Oh, okay.
Well, or rather, I have a donut on it. I've got to wake up early enough to go do that. Good morning, Lloyd Travis.
Well,
but it was really good. It was a good event.
I'm glad.
And I would like to, and the same thing that went on there. And I mean, he has asked for money to come in from the state, which is something that I brought up to you. That I said we got to bring somebody in. To help us with this problem because, the sheriff's department does all they can.
Right.
But, the city of Canton is supposed to be handling Canton.
Right.
And so, and there are a lot of good policemen. There are policemen there in Canton that I get along with great. But a lot of the things they say is coming. The big argument was the foundation of the top. Top down is the problem. And then, of course,
the leader of the team has to be the hardest worker on the team or it doesn't work well.
Right. And the mayor and the board of aldermen put him in place.
Right.
And he's been there a while. He's a great guy and he was a great sheriff.
Right.
He worked deputy for a while, but maybe the time has come.
Maybe a breath of fresh air you're going to have a new mayor in Canton one way or the other. So maybe that breath of fresh air will be able to kind of come in and give everybody a new start on how to handle and deal with things.
But I watched Lawrence Blackman come in there as a person of power, from a family of power,
right?
And from a situation where everybody, there are people that are for and against power,
right?
And he removed power from it. He went through a religious experience, and he felt it was more of a revival, than anything else. I mean, every time he got going, he would stop himself. Yeah. Because politicians want to talk, but he would stop himself. Yeah. And turn it back over to the people that are victims. Okay. Although their family members, they're dead. Right. The victims are dead, but their family are still victims.
Right.
And so it was very, very, very moving.
Well, good. I'm glad.
And I'm glad to see that kind of unity coming together. Now, of course, I was the only one from the other side of the tracks there.
Right.
But
I get that.
Okay, that's what they call that, the other side of the track.
Yeah, I know.
But it was not a racial event. It was not anything. It was very moving. And a lot of people that live on the other side of the track. Now, Canton is, it's both sides. Everybody's black and white. We're a very mixed community now.
Well, in Canton, I mean, you have a set of railroad tracks that runs right across downtown, right next to downtown. So being across the railroad tracks is everybody's across the railroad tracks.
And I think of the things that went on there. There was a time back in the 60s where right up the road from that is the Freedom House, where they marched up North Street, which is the street that I grew up on. I grew up on East North.
Yeah.
And this is West North. Okay. So once you cross the tracks and you get down to 51, then you're on East North. And Martin Luther King came to town and was on that side of the tracks with him. And it was very moving. And
small town Mississippi is where this should happen because we are so small. I mean, you saying going to that church on the other side of the tracks and having to park 2 blocks away from it.
It was not a church.
Oh, well, wherever it was having to park. Were you uncomfortable being around all these people? Were any of those people threatening or ugly to you?
No, not at all.
And so none of us in Mississippi, Jackson, or for the most part, we do not deal with a black person and a white person looking each other in the face and there being hate between them. For the most part, I get very upset with people talking about coming to Jackson. You can't go anywhere in Jackson.
Right.
The people in Jackson are really, it's not as scary as you
think
it is. I mean, because you said that 50 shots went out. I hear that by my house. First thing I thought when you said that he hit the ground, I'm like, we have to worry about bullets coming through the ceiling, especially if they're shooting up.
I can't remember the language he used, what he called, but he says every night in Canton, it's like the lullaby.
Oh yeah,
listening to the gunfire. The gunfire's every night, and of course, I told everybody in Canton, you need to call 911 every time you hear it, because in order to get help from the FBI and the state government, and people realize how bad the problem is, other than the dead body.
It needs to go through 911.
You need as many calls put into 911 where they would, because they record every 911 call.
Right.
And then they'll notice the volume of calls coming in. That moves politicians.
Wow. So even if you're not getting, what if you're not getting an answer in Jackson, like you don't get quite often if you call 911, is it still registering?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, there you go. Still call. Even if you don't get an answer, still dial 911, let it ring.
Okay. So we're going to take a break now here on the Chip Matthews Show as we've recapped a little bit about the event last night. And we'll be talking about this, that, and the other, whatever you would like. So give us a call at 1-601-879-0002. I get that right?
You got that right?
Yeah, I've been saying it every day to where I could get it going. Y'all all check in online on Facebook. Make sure you click the like button or the love button or the whatever's on your mind.
Actually, you can tap it, tap, and it'll throw up a thing.
Yes, they'll do that. But I mean, as they do that, I can see their names.
I know.
I mean, no, it clicks it up at the top.
Yep.
I got a screen.
Yep.
But anyway, good morning. We'll be right back with you right here on WYAB. We'll be right back with you right here on WYAB.
1039 WYAB.
Hey everybody, it's John at Two Gun Tactical. We're having Kim Wade Wednesdays at both locations. So you come in and mention Kim Wade on a Wednesday, you get half price range fees. Hey, if you're a member, we're going to give you an extra free target just for mentioning Kim Wade Show. Come on in and work on your shooting and exercise that 2A right that if we don't fight for it, we won't have it much longer. It's twoguntactical.com. That's the number 2, guntactical.com.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Priced to fit your budget. At Pops Auto, we specialize in trucks. From four-wheel drives to diesels, our satisfied repeat buyers know Pops has one of the largest truck inventories for any independent dealer, period. Browse Pops inventory at popsautosales.llc.com and get pre-approved for a zero down payment with approved credit, with warranties and service contracts available. Pops Auto Sales, your home for trucks. Highway 49 South in Florence.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Struggling with your dog's behavior? Hunter Logan here with the Dog Wizard, and we can help. Our trainers use proven techniques to turn chaos into harmony. Whether it's a playful puppy or a seasoned barker, we make obedience a natural part of their behavior. It's your turn to have peaceful walks and calm gatherings at home. We offer board and trains, private lessons, and more, all tailored to your dog's individual needs. Visit thedogwizardmadison.com and create a happier home. The Dog Wizard Madison. It's dog training done right.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins for Home Care Plus Medical in Ridgeland, announcing our Mother and Father's Day sale beginning April 2nd. All Pride lift chairs will be $300 to $500 off suggested retail pricing as our Atlanta Braves fan special. So come in, mention you're looking for the Braves special, and we will help you select the best lift chair for you or your loved one. That's right, the Pride lift chair, $300 to $500 off MSRP. Many other items are on special pricing right now as well. So come see us at Home Care Plus Medical in Ridgeland.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the Blue Plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
And we're back. We're back on a
Thursday.
I'm like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday.
And and on Mondays from now at 9:00, we won't be on the air anymore. Clay's going to be doing a new program that profiles business people and business leaders in the community.
Oh, nice.
And y'all, I think that is great.
Yep.
I think it's a wonderful show.
Yep.
I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. That's a very
it's
good
just
idea.
like where we've been expanding to people. If you would like to come in and sit in on our
Right.
show and talk about what you have to talk about,
Right.
you're more than welcome.
Cool.
And the same for any politician. Once again, let me tell you, Dr. Truly, if you are a doctor from Canton, if you would like to come be on the show and defend yourself, come on.
Uh-huh.
Also, same for Benny Thompson.
Come on, Benny.
We have an open door policy for you.
do?
Whenever you come in, I'm sure there's a guest host here or someone here that will always open the door for Benny Thompson to come in and speak to the people, as long as he'll answer some questions. And that also leads to every other politician in the central Mississippi area. And when you hear me talking bad about you, that's because you need to get up and come on in. I mean, I want the ones that come in that did not finish the budget. I want the ones that come in that are a bunch of rhinos. And if you want to, come on. Because when the conservatives are in town, I know they will come in and they'll talk and this and the other. I've been on the air with many of them.
Okay.
Also, remember tonight is the what is it? It is the Mary Jo Perry's group meets.
Oh, out at Liberty Baptist.
It's not Liberty. It's not Liberty Baptist. It's
No.
on.
I'll find it.
Find it and pull it up. But anyway, tonight
the
speaker is Shad White.
Okay.
So you can go and ask questions of the Moj and see what's going on. But it's a great event, and you need to be a part of it. And that was one thing that came out of last night's meeting is we need to all get together all the time. And when Blackman said when he was looking for a place, he said first he went from church to church to church to church to church.
Right.
Guess what?
What?
It wasn't held at a church.
No.
And it wasn't held at a church. What I was gathering, and I may have gathered this wrong, is that the churches didn't want to get involved. That's what I gathered from it.
Right.
Because I didn't have a bunch of preachers in the building that were a part of it, this, that, and there was one priest there. But I gathered that was the problem. It was held in a place that in the back of the room was a bar. It was the Elks Lodge.
Oh.
Okay, in Canton, where they throw dances and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And
well, it's time for the people to start standing up and doing something.
Right.
And not the preachers and not the leaders. It's time for us, the people, to start standing up.
Yes.
And finding our own leaders that are not religious leaders or not, because I'm sorry, but church, I don't go to church every
right. But I'm gonna
Sunday,
tell you what, inside this building of sin, I guess you could say,
right,
there was more churching going on than you've ever seen in your life.
Well,
and it was good to see the community
because it's about
together.
spirituality. It's not about church.
No, it was.
It's about.
I agree, but what I'm saying is, in that room,
exactly. There's more.
And everybody was saying that they were scared to come forward. That's the thing that's shocking me is everybody that was scared to come forward, and so they're all going to go as a group to the meeting on Tuesday, and Tuesday will come, and hopefully everybody will show up. They will not be able to hold them in the city hall in Canton.
Right.
Just to let you know, it will not hold
it's not
that
big
crowd,
enough.
and it will not hold the aldermen and all them have a load of explaining to do when they come because they're going to ask the questions.
Well, it's a good thing that you have a great big town square down there because y'all could have it right down there.
Yeah, well, that's the county property. That's not city property. But anyway.
Well.
So you got Mary Jo Perry stuff up?
Oh.
Okay.
No, you were still talking.
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, Mary Jo's Perry thing tonight is and what's the name of that?
I think that it is. I think that it is.
I know it's tonight, and it's
mm-hmm.
It's Shad White tonight.
Yep.
And then of course a lot of other good things go on in there at that meeting, and that is a room of conservatives that believe in conservative values. And I've met some great people there. It is
Riverside Church on Luckney Road,
right
in Flowood, and it's at Thursday, May 1st at 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if y'all you need to go out. It's not it is a well attended event.
Yep.
And there are a lot of people there that you would like to meet, but they're like-minded people. They're people that want things to happen. What in the heck?
I'm trying. You're wanting me to talk about stuff that is
one of your redneck
going
friends.
on. No, that actually was Zach Servay because he's got something going on tonight as well.
Okay, do it real quick.
I can't. I haven't found it yet.
Okay. Well, then what we're going to do is we take a break, and we'll be back here on the program here on WYAB, the Chip Matthews Show, with Chip Matthews, your host, and Taylor Turcotte.
about this important topic. Be informed. Go to mpvr.org. Like us on Facebook to stay up to date on the latest information. That's Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights, mpvr.org.
CBS News Brief. The U.S. and Ukraine have signed a deal that gives the U.S. access to revenues from Ukraine's rare earth minerals. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
The deal will provide the United States access to new investment projects. Okay, so that's key. Natural resources, including aluminum, graphite, oil, and natural gas.
There will be anti-Trump protests across the country on this May Day, or International Workers' Day. CUNY Law School professor Shamtoli Huck.
No effort, even I would say it's not just Trump, from previous administration to actually respond to the needs of working people.
A fan fell from the right field bleachers onto the warning track during last night's Cubs-Pirates game in Pittsburgh.
I was watching the play, and all of a sudden I saw that McCutcheon and the second baseman were looking at right center field, and I was like, and everybody else on the team was looking that way. It's like, what's going on?
The man is in critical condition. He fell 21 feet. CBS News Brief. I'm Michael Watt.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Tri-County Tree Service, the Jackson Metro's premier company to handle all of your tree service needs. Russ Borland and his team specialize in large tree, low-impact removal. Tri-County Tree Service has the right equipment to safely handle the most technical trim jobs or tree removals. Storm damage can happen year-round, so let them clean it up and they'll deal with your insurance claim. Tri-County Tree Service, by phone at 601-TREE-GUY or online at tricotreeservice.com. That's tricotreeservice.com.
Hello, I'm Gary Jolly from the Tractor Store. LS Tractor understands your passion for the land, and just like you, LS Tractor is committed to excellence and superior products. LS Tractor comes with a long list of standard features that are unmatched by other brands, and backed with the LS commitment to provide exceptional customer service and satisfaction. You get a lot more for your money with the LS Tractor. Come to the Tractor Store in Richland to experience the LS difference. The Tractor Store in Richland.
Here's what they're saying about Corcoran Door Company.
I'm going to yell out to one of your sponsors here, Corcoran Door. When the guy came out here, instead of just trying to throw a door up, he was looking at the way the house was facing. Man, with this double garage here on the south side, you might want to consider a insulated door. I came in earlier today about 2:30. The car thermometer said 99 degrees. The thermometer inside the garage was 82.
That's why they've been around 50 years.
Yeah.
CorcoranDoor.com. CORKERN door.com.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here is your host, Chip Matthews.
And we're back on a Thursday morning here on the Chip Matthews Show, 6:39 a.m., y'all.
Good morning.
Bright and shiny day. And our show is also brought to you, thank you, is that we have a corporate sponsor now.
Do we?
My good friend Al Underwood, he owns he had Shady Deal sunglasses back in the day, and Deja Vu sunglasses. Franklin Eyewear for all of us. You know, it's something, you know, when he was a kid, when he was younger, he needed sunglasses.
Right.
Now he's got to have reading glasses. Franklin Eyewear.
Oh, nice.
And I told him that's what do you wear? Is that Franklin Eyewear?
No, these are Ollie's 3 pairs for $375 because I can't keep up with them. I have them everywhere.
Well, these are also the same way.
I know those are nice.
Okay.
Those are high end compared to mine. Those aren't the ones. Chip normally has a pair that will flip open at the front, so he doesn't have to take them off with his earphones. And
those are click eyewear.
Yeah, I know. And when you unhook those things and leave them on, but it's kind of an intense.
Okay.
We should show the people on.
But I told Al that he was the official sponsor. If you get, because like he used to, when I was on the radio, he'd bring me a box of sunglasses to start the summer, and it was, you know, all kinds in there. Ray-Ban, not Ray-Bans, but Ray-Ban style. The Bluesman line was his too.
Okay.
But anyway, And
ask him where my sunglasses are. I like round ones.
Okay, tonight a meeting it also is going on, and this is what this program's for. You tell us what meetings are going on, and we're gonna spread the word.
Yep.
Meeting tonight at 6 in Brandon, Mississippi, at the municipal building about the Rankin County zoning, having to do with the divide your property up in 5-acre lots and all of that. They're getting their plan together to go forward. So you need to be a part of all of that and make sure you're doing that. See what else is going on. We're going to say hello to, there's Dawn McKenzie. She has an event at the Crawfish Bowl this weekend with they sound check the band. There's another band, Two-Way Street, I believe it was, that's playing also, Two-Way Road or whatever, is out there at Rattlers Ferry. And it's $30 and to get in, all the crawfish you can eat. And the money is to go to the Children's Hospital.
Wow, that's this Saturday.
That's this Saturday. There's all kind of stuff
There's
going
a lot
on.
of stuff going because Brandon Day is this Saturday as well.
Yes.
I'm hearing they'll have fair rides even out there.
Yes, they have a 2 or 3 day event going on.
Let's
see what else. Let's see. And good morning. Let's see all we got to run down. Don McKenzie's listening. Jenny Halford's listening. Johnny Martin's listening. Jeff Bullen Sr.
Good morning, everyone.
Lloyd Travis, Jimmy Rogers, Anita Ford, and there were some others that were sitting there that had checked in, and I can't find their names now. But anyway, that's about like our little romper room segment there, where we say hello to everybody.
Hello.
But if you got something on your mind, just let us know, and we'll talk about it. And I think we're going to be here in a little extra time today, and we will let you know more about that as we get to it. But that's that. So what else is on the world? So Ukraine signs a deal.
Yay!
Ukraine signs a
Who
deal.
would have ever thought?
Okay. So Trump is getting some things done.
Some.
Yes. I mean, they act like we have the CBS News here, which we all know that that's because Fox is dominated on the other stations, and so we can't have Fox.
Right.
You just can't put it on every radio station in the market.
Right.
So we have CBS.
Uh-huh.
Thank them for giving us something to talk about, because they're the media is crazy how they just go after it. And then when you have the ABC where Terry Moran was going after the president the other night, and he kept he's making his bones. All Trump did was make him a bigger guy, and at the same time we're swatting him down like a fly. And I got a kick out of that.
Yep.
Because he says, you're not being fair, you're not being this. He said, you got to be 100% sure. And he's going, you don't have, you can't be 100%.
They lie to your face, and then they call other people's facts out is what they do.
I mean,
the mainstream media, they lie to people's faces, and then they call people out and tell them that they're lying about the truth.
Oh,
it's insane.
I get a kick out of it.
And have you seen what's up with the new MS-13 guy that they're wanting us to bring back? The president, he is a national of El Salvador. The media is looking at the president and saying, you need to force the president of El Salvador to give back his citizen to us because he's not MS-13. And what comes out this morning?
What?
The man has got MS-13 tattooed across his knuckles.
Well, I already knew that.
Don't tell me that he's not.
But the reality is this guy was ordered by some judge to bring him back.
Yes.
Now, my question to you is, if you take an American, and this is during the Trump administration, if you take American and you carry him to another country and put him in jail,
right,
we're coming to get him.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So why would we go and take somebody from another country that they're from and bring them back? And demand that we bring them back.
Yes. It is complete insanity.
So what this is cover up.
And the fact that they think that that'll fly is what.
And what's her name? Who's the one that ran?
Kamala Harris. She's out talking again.
They had her out doing a speech yesterday, and they have found a soundbite inside there that she sounds like a competent person. We know much better than that, but I was just sitting there going, huh. And are they really going to try to reload her, or she's getting reloaded other than just drinking the wine, to run for office because she's trying to make sure that the party doesn't forget about her.
Well, let me ask you something.
Okay.
This judge that overruled Trump's order and wants this prisoner back.
Right.
If he does something wrong, who holds him accountable?
That's what they're fixing to do. They're fixing to fix that law.
They're about to fix that law because that judge has no right. But judges can walk into chambers and do whatever they want to do, and there is no fallback on them at all.
Correct.
No fallback. This judge is ordering our president to go make another president give one of their citizens, and nobody can do anything about it.
And the funny thing about it is
who holds attorneys accountable to their clients?
Oh, let's not even get into that because you go to the bar association here in Mississippi.
No. The bar association's job is to protect the attorney.
Yes, they are. Everybody's job is to protect. We have a lot of lawyers listening.
Yep.
But in a lot of situations.
Yep. And there are a lot of good lawyers. I'm not gonna down lawyers as a whole like everybody does. But I want to know who holds judges and who holds attorneys accountable when they do the wrong thing.
Okay, nobody. Because the reality is you got to have a lawyer to fight a lawyer.
Exactly. And they're going to say a judge can be overruled, that you can take a judge, it can be sent to appealed. But see, the point is that judges sit on the bench like they did with David Archie's case, and they make rulings that they know are not allowed and that are wrong and that can be overturned on appeal. But the whole point is to do that now so that it stalls until it gets to the next appeal.
Right. Plus, most people don't have the money to continue to go forward.
Exactly.
It's like in the Canton election. They want to bleed you down.
Exactly.
Okay. So you're going to apply for here, and then you're going to get a disfavorable ruling, and they're going to refile in another court, refile in another court, refile in another court.
It's all a game.
Oh yeah.
It's all a game, and all of us everyday people are stuck in it.
And most of the time, it's three judges that know. They say a judge knows you, and there's two lawyers, and the goal is get it settled and get it out of my building.
Yep.
That is the rule of thumb.
I'm not going to talk bad about all judges because I'm sure that I have an ex-judge that is I've known since I came out of the womb, but. The really good ones need to start standing up to the really bad ones, and let's start fixing this.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a situation, and once again, everybody's going to say you can vote somebody else in this, that, and the other. That doesn't help in the meantime. And it's like, for instance, the judges that are giving out these weak sentences to these people. It's like we had a car for one of the murders in Canton.
Yep.
10-year-old car, and the police in Canton said they went all over the car. And they couldn't find a hair. They couldn't find any evidence in the car to prove that was the car of the guy that they suspected had done this. Okay. And they had his car.
Right.
And they've given his car back to him. This other, and that's a situation. You sit there and just go, a 10-year-old car is going to have a hair in it somewhere.
Oh yeah. Somebody's.
And I know that we have all kind of issues out there, but I mean, as I listen to this stuff, and I just go, yeah, because I've been a victim of crime in the building where they show up and somebody's broken the building or this, that, and the other. When we had some places in Jackson, and they tell you, well, we got fingerprints, but we ain't got nothing we can use, and you're looking at them like, okay. Or we're not going to run them through a thing. There's no sense for us. I had more people excuse themselves when they would walk into the building after a crime had committed where they're saying, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And then in Canton, you have the situation where everybody's related to everybody. And when you start hiring all your locals, when you hire your brother and your uncle and your cousin and so-and-so's got a different name, but they're really your first and second and third cousin or double fourth cousins or double first cousins or this, that, and the other. They don't want to tell on each other.
No. And I mean,
and you don't expect them to.
You don't really expect them to,
but you have
something's got to give.
You got to separate the badge from the family because you got to do something about it. Because now we're in a situation to where, and according to Blackman last night, everybody in the room Many of them said, we know who this is. They all know who it is, but nothing's being done. And it's just like when I spoke, I told them, I said, I know right now I can ride up the corner right here, and there's going to be a guy sitting on this side of the fence at this apartment, and there's a guy there, and then a little bit up further up and out there. Every one of them going to wave me down to try to sell me drugs. That is a real thing, and you know who they are, and you know why they're doing it, and you don't do anything about it. When you allow crime out into the open, that the problems begin.
Yep.
We've got to get to where when we see crime,
people have got to start standing up.
Yeah. If
we all stand up, we can flip the table, but we're all going to have to start standing up.
But in Canton, they're scared.
I realize that.
And there are people.
And I've walked into a lot of situations that I was scared about as well. So I get it.
But what's going on is these people are going back and they're admitting to this, that the person that's been committing the murders and this, that, and the other, they'll walk up to you and put the gun in your face and put the gun in your family's face and say, this is going to happen to you. You'll get shot. So shut up. Y'all, that's going on in Canton, Mississippi, and I'm sure it's going on in Jackson. I mean, where the gangs have taken over, you got to take your town back. You got to get back in charge.
Is that who's doing this? Is this gang related?
Well, you got to call it a gang of some kind. They even referred to the guy as possibly a serial killer.
See, that's exactly it's. Yep.
And he's making the call on other people to do the job
because everybody's scared of him.
Right. And everybody said, and I just said, you're going to have to, unfortunately, you're going to have to tell on them and pray with Jesus and hope that you're not going to go anywhere, because that's all you got. I mean, you got to stay safe. You got to do what you can. But if you don't ever speak up, you're never going to solve the problem. So
band together.
That's that. Time to take another break here on the Chip Matthews Show with Taylor Turcotte here on WYAB. Remember to vote for both of us when you get a chance.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. She's running for Ward 7.
City Council Jackson.
I, of course, am running for mayor of Canton, Mississippi.
Yep.
Home of the crime capital of. Well, it's a fact that we actually have more murders per capita than Jackson.
Yep.
And Jackson is number one nationwide.
And has been that way for many years.
I mean, we got to fix some things, y'all.
We do.
We got to fix some things this election cycle, and you need to be a part of it and go vote. Okay?
Yep.
Let's
things
take a break.
Only get harder.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back here on WYAB.
Harder.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back here on WYAB.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Men, let's talk about low testosterone. Do you suffer from any of these symptoms? Low sex drive, ED. Are you always tired, depressed? You have loss of muscle mass? You're obese? Maybe you have loss of focus and drive? Then you, my friends, may suffer from low testosterone. Let my buddies over at Men's Health in Mississippi, located right there in Madison, check your numbers today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. Check them out online at menshealthms.com. That's menshealthms.com. Men's Health Mississippi.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock flatbeds, WeatherGuard toolboxes, Nap-High service bodies, ARE camper tops, deck storage solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
I'm Sean Yurtkaran, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work.
The Chenault Aviation and Military Museum is proud to announce the return of the Red, White, and Blue Air Show to the Monroe Regional Airport May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Enjoy an amazing show with heart-pounding performances by the U.S. Air Force F-35, U.S. Army Golden Knights, Randy Ball, Ghost Rider, Titan Aerobatic Team, and more. There'll be planes on display and helicopter rides. May 2nd and 3rd, gates open at 3 for amazing evening and night shows. Sunday, May 4th, gates open at 11 a.m. for thrilling day show. Visit Explore Louisiana to plan your trip today and buy tickets now at redwhiteandblueairshow.com.
I'm here with Lee Bounds of New American Funding. Lee, why is Rita Jensen of Remax Connection your go-to real estate agent?
I highly recommend Rita because she's honest. She just tells it like it is. She has integrity, and I just love referring clients to her because I know when I turn them loose, she is going to take care of them from the start. You'll always be in good hands with her. From the application to the keys, I like to say.
RitaJensen.net. Rita, JENSEN.net.
Hi, everyone. This is Matt Wasilowski, owner and general manager of 1039 WYAB. How much money does the state of Mississippi spend on advertising? A little over $10 million each and every year. Apparently, some people think that it's vitally important for the state of Mississippi to promote the Memorial Stadium, the Department of Marine Resources, soybean and rice products, MDOT, the State Fair, and the worst category of all, miscellaneous advertising expenditures for who knows what. And who pays for it all? In most cases, you, the taxpayer. I find that absolutely abhorrent. That's why 1039 WYAB refuses to accept advertising dollars from state government agencies. If you ever do hear a state agency advertising on WYAB, we're not getting paid for it. We stay on the air due to the support of the many businesses that you hear advertising every day on 1039 WYAB. So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 1039 WYAB. And keep listening.
Welcome back to the Chip Matthews Show, and here's your host, Chip Matthews.
Chip Matthews, along with Taylor Turcotte, right here on WYB. We're going to have to get a singing jingle. I'm working on that.
Well, yeah, because I'm
Chip
tired.
in the morning with Taylor. Okay, whatever. Good morning, Ted Smith. I see you're online this morning. And many people, we say hello to everybody that pops up. So click the like button, click the things. If you got something on your mind,
You can sit there and tap that little heart button, and it'll just put up a fun show.
and let's even go a step
hearts.
further. Somebody's sweet kitten was found on Lakeshire Parkway in Panther Creek, and he has an orange and tiger print collar.
Oh,
okay. So
wow.
you can see more about that on Next Door. Anyway, news breaks coming up. And guess what? On the other side, it'll be the Clay Edwards Show, and we'll be guest hosting for a little while.
Ah,
okay.
Yes.
So
I'm newly finding out that
we're going away, but not going away. Okay. So you keep it right there, and we'll be back, and we'll talk about the subjects that you want to hear. So
we'll see you later and be right back
on WYAB.
$1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230.
Local news and weather brought to you by Mississippi Energy Services. We're your fast, affordable, and friendly generator service company. msenergy.us. msenergy.us.
Strong to severe storms in central Mississippi. That happens possibly this evening and tonight. The National Weather Service says it won't be widespread, but you could see hail and strong winds. The high today is 86. The rain chance is 8 in 10. More strong storms possible tonight with a low at 65. A 5 in 10 chance for storms Friday with a high at 86. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. You don't often hear about a person being arrested for revenge porn, but here's one. It happened in Lumberton in Lamar County. Police Chief Elsie Cowart says 29-year-old Keyshawn Osha Parker faces 29 counts of making and distributing videos of someone engaged in intimate activity without their consent. An industrial park likely to help provide jobs in Mississippi.
One of the things that made it easy to fall in love with this place was their willingness to commit to us.
Developer Joe Hollingsworth talking to reporters after the Wednesday groundbreaking on the South Point Industrial Park in Grenada, a 170-acre site expected to bring 2,500 jobs, some possibly by the end of the year. Meet Brandon Gordon. He was arrested in Carroll County. Sheriff Clint Walker says driving a stolen car from Florida. Already out on bond from DeSoto County, he is now suspected of being involved in what's being called a massive car theft ring across the Southeast. In September, a woman in Greenville was beaten and robbed. Now the man police believe is responsible is being held in Texas, caught there by U.S. Marshals. Earl Washington faces aggravated assault charges in Greenville and attempted murder charges in Natchez. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB.
The weather is heating up and the deals are even hotter at Mazda of Jackson. Right now at Mazda of Jackson, you can drive home your dream Mazda with low financing rates available. 2.9% for 72 months on most models, or finance 36 months and pay just 0.9%. That's right, 0.9%. Experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson.
Are you a wine enthusiast? Are you looking for the perfect bottle to elevate your next dinner? The ultimate destination for wine lovers is 042 Wine and Spirits on West Government Street in Brandon. They're locally owned, they're locally operated. 042 Wine offers something for everyone, from local favorites to rare vintage wines. 042 Wine and Spirits can help you find your next favorite wine. The friendly and knowledgeable folks at 042 Wine and Spirits will help you find the perfect bottle for every occasion. 042 Wine and Spirits, located on West Government Street in Brandon.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We've accomplished that.
And more testosterone for your morning drive.
When you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal. And they don't care. And everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now. And I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met him, but why not?
Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added talk radio. It's award-winning podcaster Clay Edwards.
And good morning to everybody.
Hello.
I am not Clay Edwards. Clay is out today on a special assignment.
Yes.
And we are filling in for him here on the program.
I am Taylor Turcotte.
And you're Taylor Turcotte. And I am, of course, Chip Matthews. And you're gonna be here just the first hour?
I'll stay as long as the feeling.
As long as you feel it.
As long as the feeling has got me.
But good morning, everyone. If you got something on your mind, you can give us a call. It's 601-879-0002. I don't have Clay's text line, so I cannot use the text line. But you can go on Facebook and send me a message, and it's popping up on the screen as you can watch us on Facebook, and you can watch us on YouTube, and you can watch us on X. And then, of course, the TikTok jumps in and out.
TikTok,
It's on, then it's off. It's on, it's off.
Really?
Good morning, Kathy Reed and Clayton Duncan and Jolynn and Stephen Blackwell and Ted Smith and Don McKenzie and Beth and Jenny Halford, and it says 6 more. But anyway, I can't see that. But anyway, the names just popping up. And we're glad you're all here and glad you're listening. We're going to recap some of the stuff we've been talking about on the program. And good morning, Irene Jackson. Good morning. Everyone is listening. I'm listening. Okay. But last night, I went to the event in Canton that Lawrence Blackman threw, which I can tell that he has gone through a religious experience. It was not a political event. It was an event he pulled together. Took him a week, but he was on election day last week. There was a person murdered in Canton at an apartment complex. And he was there with that person laying at his feet. And he was in shock that the Canton police was not investigating. They weren't doing things. Now, that is what it appeared.
Right.
And, of course, the police chief has not come out and said anything about it, what was going on, and this, that, and the other. But this was something that is a part of the community. He had an event last night, and he had the pictures on the wall of, it was about 22 people had been murdered in the area.
Right.
And he has 11 unsolved murders in Canton.
Right.
And the victims were there, and they were speaking about the response they had gotten and updates that they had received from the city.
Right.
And we're talking about the current mayor and the board of aldermen not stepping up and being a part of it.
Right.
And not making sure they're updated.
Right.
And that the chief won't answer them.
Because you said that he had told you that the night of the shooting, that all the people were coming up to him and talking to him and not to the police.
Right. Because they were afraid that the police would arrest them.
Right.
People in Canton fear the police.
Right.
On one side of town, and maybe all sides of town. I don't know. My interactions with the police department have led to inactivity also.
Right.
But that's that. But it's like I told everybody, you got to take a hold of it. And Lawrence says he's been fighting and with the state, trying to get some money brought into Canton to help with the crime.
Right.
To help the police department, this, that, and the other.
Okay.
But according to I guess some officers that were around, they say the problem is the leadership in Canton does not support their patrolmen. And that a lot of patrolmen are hired just because they're family or friends.
Right.
And will do exactly
what
was said to be done. And it's just like, it's like I said at the meeting. I mean, I could walk out that front door and I could go up 2 blocks and buy drugs.
Right.
And the drug dealers are sitting in chairs on one side of the fence at the apartment complex. This guy takes the money. The other guy walks up on the other side and hands it off. And you see it.
Wow.
And you act like, it's too easy to pick this out.
Well, okay.
It's too easy.
Yep.
But Lawrence Blackman, last night had a great event. And I just want y'all to know that, and I will keep saying that forever. It was
he has one chip over.
Yeah, he never went political. It never got political. And I will say that all 3 mayor candidates were there, and everybody spoke, but nobody turned it into a political speaking.
Right. Well, the 3 men,
they were there for the victims.
The 3 men who were there at your when you had your mayor thing before, though, I was very impressed by all 3 men. They all, you and the other 2, the current councilman, and I can't remember
Tim Taylor and Walter Peoples.
Walter Peoples as well was a very
well. We were all there.
All 3 of y'all made the point very clear that y'all were all 3 doing it for the right reasons.
We were there, and it is an issue. Now, for me, I've always thought that when I become mayor,
well,
this time around, when I become
a best
mayor,
choice for mayor.
There's
a best choice.
Okay, that would be me.
That would be you.
Okay, I will, 1, refill the square with businesses. 2, I will make the city safe again.
Yep.
And if it takes firing everybody at the police department and bringing in people, or bringing in the FBI or somebody to run the city. But that's exactly what Lawrence Blackman was saying last night. He said that he was saying the CHIP program. He sat there and said, we got to get outside help. You know, we have a bigger murder rate in Canton than anywhere else.
Yep.
And at night, the lullaby of the gunshots is just ridiculous. You hear them and you're on the floor. So if you have to fear every night that you could possibly die in Canton, that's not good. And there were people talking about that. And I said, look, just know that you're going to go see Jesus, and make sure you're ready to go at
right
any
with the
time.
Lord before you
right with the Lord all the time, because He'll protect you.
Yep.
But when it's time to go, you're going to go.
Yep.
So be ready to go. Otherwise, you'll burn in hell, as my grandmother would say.
Wow. See.
But anyway, Jimmy Rogers, maybe it's the devil you know than the devil you don't know situation.
Well, I say it all the time. A snake that I know is better than a snake that I don't.
I mean, that is a real.
Yep.
But I mean, my thing is, you always work on. If something isn't working, you come up with a new plan. That's period it.
That's common sense, yeah.
I mean,
but in government, I mean, I hesitated like that because it's in government, it's like, okay, we screw it up, but we're just gonna leave it. Well, we mess that up.
YB, good morning.
Good morning. How
Hello.
are you this morning?
Doing all right. What's up?
Just wanted to, not to really change the subject, but something that just hasn't been covered in the news was that what seemed like an EMP, and I believe it was France.
Yeah.
Where all the power went out.
Right.
Yep.
Like nobody's saying anything about it. It's weird to me.
Yesterday, I was hearing that it had to do with some sort of a strange temperature fluctuation outside of our environment that caused it. But then the people that were the experts that I heard talking about it said they had never heard of heat. I think actually it was Teresa Pell that was talking about that. She had talked to a meteorologist who had said that they had never heard of that before. But yes, it went. I think it was Norway and France and maybe not Spain, but a lot of places went dark yesterday. Did you hear about that, Chip?
Yes, I heard about it, but I was in the middle of everything else and have not researched it enough. There's too much going on in the world.
Honestly, the only reason that I know about it is because of Teresa's post on TikTok. Y'all get on TikTok. It is there's so much fun information on TikTok.
I just drove past the studio, just thought about it. Like, see if they know about it, but I appreciate you.
Okay, if I find something, I'll let you know. Anybody else wanting to call in, give us a call, 879-0002.
You want to change the subject? Call us up. We had a call yesterday that was wanting us to talk about something at the end of the show.
Okay, well, listen to me for just a second.
Okay.
I'm Chip Matthews.
Yep.
You're Taylor Turcotte. We're sitting in on the Clay Edwards Show, and it's time for more commercials.
Oh, that went fast.
These people are so great for us. They take care of us well.
They do.
You take care of them and go see these people, and we'll be right back on the other side.
Tell them you heard about us here
on WYAB. On the other side.
Tell them you heard about us here
on WYAB.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Feeding the family? Got a hungry crew? Head to Huey Magoo's for the meal that never misses. Grab a 20 or 30-piece family meal loaded with our delicious chicken tenders. Choose hand-breaded, grilled, or a mix to please everyone at the table. Served with fries, Texas toast, and all your favorite sauces. Hot, fast, and done right. It's the easiest win of the week. And don't forget dessert. Pick up a big creamy banana pudding that tastes just like Grandma used to make. Sweet, simple, and perfect to share. Huey Magoo's, the filet mignon of chicken.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink specials, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship, where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
Here at Lake and Glass and Tint, we've become well known for two things: window tint and windshields. Now, when it comes to window tint, you already know that we're the go-to for home, car, and office. And as always, we offer free consultations. So if you're in the need of window tint or windshields, give us a call, 601-946-1000. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram or at lakeandglassandtint.com. Lake and Glass and Tint, where quality matters.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris at Fannin Mart on the Riz is quickly becoming Rankin County's go-to spot for pizza, burgers, pasta, appetizers, daiquiris, and more. Try their famous Wheel of Flavor pizza. You can add up to 3 different specialty pizzas onto one pie, such as the Margarita, Sergeant Pepperoni, Acme Beet Buster, Pig, Pesto Chicken, the Old Mexico, the Supreme, or hey, just build your own custom pizza. Acme also has a full bar with 9 different frozen daiquiris to choose from. Open daily at 4 p.m. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering Day and Night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With Day and Night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. And now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months on select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
Pet emergencies don't wait, so why should you? At Urge Vet Emergency Vets of Madison, we offer low wait times and cutting-edge technology to provide fast, expert care for all household pets. Our hours of operation are weeknights 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and 24 hours on weekends and holidays. Our phone number is 601-790-1918, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Because when it comes to your pet's health, trust the team that's fast, reliable, and compassionate.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules when necessary.
Breaking rules when necessary. Chip Matthews, Taylor Turcotte sitting in for Clay Edwards on the Clay Edwards Show. Actually, Clay is here, and we bound him in and put a mask over his head and abducted him and threw him in the trunk of the car. Did you hear about that? The lacrosse players?
No.
Lacrosse players were playing a practical joke on the freshmen.
Oh gosh!
Did you hear about that? The lacrosse they got a little crazy.
Oh no!
Got a little crazy.
Oh no!
And they were calling it a hazing event, but they charged them with all kind of crimes. These 13 boys who they put a bag over the guy's head and taped his mouth and said they were going blah blah blah. And one of them had they said that I think they said they had a gun and a knife. They were hazing the youth.
Oh gosh!
Look, I remember hazing as a kid and stuff like that went on. But this was in this day and time, the extreme level of some of this stuff is just not allowed anymore.
Right.
I mean,
I'm thinking of what I heard went on during Rush at one of the fraternities, and I mean it.
I mean, For instance, in Canton, they used to have this thing called Dixie Debs for the girls. Okay,
Right.
and everybody, they all were waiting to be picked, and then all this, and people that didn't get picked, it was crushing to them. But they do that, and they would hang these placards around their neck. They were rats, and they had these placards, and I mean, the placards were made by their big sister. So they would be
like on Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah, we did all this.
Y'all did that stuff, really?
Oh yeah, they did that, and then they would be like on tricycles with
Yes,
crazy clothes,
Dazed and Confused,
and all of that. It was great. I'd love to get some of them are listening. They need to call in. And
What do you mean that that's great? I would have told them to shove it where the sun does not shine.
Well,
You
I'm
can
just
take that
saying,
whistle and put it right where you.
It was all in fun, but I mean, they did some.
I don't know
crazy
that is all in fun.
Well, back then, it was different back then.
It was all in fun, but I mean, they
Way
did
back in the 1800s. No.
Back, you're talking about in the early 70s, are you not?
No, I'm talking about in the 80s. What are
In
you
the
talking
80s?
about?
Well, 70. Okay, well that would have go
79,
along
80.
with the.
But that's
Dazed and
what,
Confused,
but it's something that had gone on in Canton.
I mean, they're basically humiliating the freshmen. Yeah, humiliation is not fun.
No, it's not.
Humiliation is not. I'm glad they're not.
But I mean,
I would have
did
told
that.
them to shove the
But
whistle.
see, also back then, it was funny to getting feedback audio. Okay, there you go. You also back then, we would roll somebody's yard.
Yep,
That's wrong.
I remember that in
That's
high
wrong.
school.
Egg them.
I remember egging houses.
I
never did any of that, but I remember people did it.
Why did you just say you remember egging houses? I'm going to have you arrested.
I did not egg any houses, but I do remember I was not popular enough to actually have my yard rolled or egged because it always happened during football season.
Kathy Reed just checked in. Dixie Debs in 74. Thank you, Ronnie Fulcher, for letting me know that I had feedback audio.
Yes.
But Canton was this different community. It's hard to believe what Canton was growing up. And as I listened to the people last night at that event,
right
on the other side, and basically we refer to that side as the other side of the tracks, they all talk about a great life that they had growing up. People loved each other. And the only people you really didn't like were the ones that was actually taking care of you, are the nosy neighbors who kept up with where your kids were.
Yep.
And then everybody talks about a curfew. Well, the curfew used to be when the lights come on.
Yep.
You better be home.
Yep.
And that was it.
Well, I'll challenge people to look back at some of the pictures of civil rights, like the sit-in down on Capitol Street.
Yeah.
Look at how nicely they're dressed.
Well, yes.
Everybody back then had nice clothes. They had shoes. They looked well fed.
Everybody had Sunday clothes.
Everybody had Sunday clothes.
In Mississippi, you there is no excuse for anybody to go hungry.
Exactly.
Because you could.
But look at where we have gotten now in Jackson.
I mean, it's
to how.
I mean, we have community gardens, this, that, and the other, but you got to want to cook.
Yeah.
And if you've got enough fire to light up your crack cocaine, you might as well be able to cook some corn.
Well, I mean, people can't afford it anymore.
Okay. And let's see what else. This is a great comment here. It was good to live in Canton for kids in the 70s. Yes, it was.
Well, it was good for a lot. In Clinton, I was riding my bike all over the place. We would go picking blackberries in the woods up around the briars behind Northside Elementary School behind the school.
It couldn't have been better in Canton.
Well, I'd say we probably were all living the same life about that time.
Well, I will tell you this. And when we were growing up in Canton, I felt, and I used to go and hang out in Northeast Jackson with different people, but Canton people had a certain air about them. They believed that they were better than everybody else. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter if we were all dirt poor.
We still had self-confidence.
I'm running around in North Jackson in these $1 million houses, but didn't think twice about it. Blah, 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 blah. And then my grandmother would say, "Oh, that's new money. You don't care about those people. That's new money.
That's new money.
You won't.
It shouldn't be about the money.
No, it shouldn't
be about
be.
the money.
It shouldn't be. But
I mean, my grandfather, who was one of the biggest, most depressive men that I ever knew in my life, and I would watch other people come up to him and the way they engaged with him, he didn't give a crap about money. He stayed working. He made probably, I think, less than $30,000 when he left the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries in the 80s, 70s, late 70s. I mean, it's not, we've got to get away from worrying about the money. It's about who you are and how happy you are instead of how much money you have.
We got to get back to being neighbors. We got to get back. It's like last night's event is what I've been talking about for the last few weeks on our program at 6 a.m. is that we need to gather.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be able to get together.
We do. We do.
You know, okay. Hold it. Kathy Reed, loved growing up in Canton. So many great and special memories. Celebrating our 50th class reunion this weekend. Can't wait to see everyone. That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
A Canton's 50th high school reunion is
for the class of 74.
Yeah, but that's
or
awesome.
76. What is this year?
2025.
Well, it would be the class of 75.
That's awesome.
Okay. And I remember Kathy growing up. God.
Yeah, that'll be
a good time.
I'm sure a 50 will be 50 is a big year for a reunion. I'm sure a lot of people will show up. Are you going?
No, I'm not 50.
Oh.
I'm not that old. I mean,
okay.
Excuse me. They won't say that.
Yeah.
I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Well, you just made her old then.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
You just made her young.
She's young.
Mm-hmm.
Still looks just like she did when she was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Exactly.
Good for her.
Okay. Let me remind everybody of these other events going on tonight. Mary Jo Perry's event tonight at Riverside Church in Flowood. Guest speaker tonight, Shad White.
Yep.
It's a very conservative group. There are conservative politicians in Mississippi, but you have to seek them out to find them.
You do.
So go to one of her events and you'll always see that.
6:30 tonight.
And then we have in Brandon, Mississippi, at the municipal building, we have at 6 p.m. They'll be talking about the Rankin zoning, the thing on the trailers. And okay, Ted Smith, that's right. You're not that far from behind. I go, I know, I'm almost as old as y'all, but not. Okay. And then there's the Crawfish Festival out at this Saturday out at Rattlers Ferry, where they're $30, all you can eat, and the money goes to charity for the Children's Hospital. What else we got going on?
Kim Wade.
Kim Wade?
Well, not Kim Wade.
I've heard of
him. But first, let's go to Jacksonians for Jackson on May 8th at Jackson State Unit, JSU's East Center. I can't talk this morning. 6 to 8 p.m. They're having the final mayoral face-off. There will be John Horn will be there. Well, John Horn has been invited, waiting on a response. Kenny G will be there, waiting on a response. Rodney DePriest is waiting on a response. Kim Wade will be there. Zach will be there. But the independent Lily Stuart Robinson will not be there.
Okay.
So, but then we also have got Kim Wade's event.
Right.
That he is doing, that is a wild, it's like a wild game cook-off thing that is on May 17th at Jamie Flower Bell Boyd Park in Jackson, which is right behind the old
by Smithwell Stadium.
Smith Wells. But it is on May 17th. It is a deer. Let's see, what does that say? Deer and beer wildlife wild game festival.
Okay.
And so he has got it's going to be a cook-off. They'll have arts and crafts vendors, food truck vendors, and come share your wild game recipes and food. 12 to 4.
Be a bunch of turkeys there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think wild turkeys are actually better than the store-bought ones. You know, my grandfather is responsible for repopulating the state of Mississippi with the wild turkey.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he had a movie that he did called Tom Bippy Tom.
Okay.
In the 60s, 50s. Anyway, go ahead.
You weren't around yet.
I was not around yet. My mother.
And the shooting range out at the reservoir is.
That's him.
That's Turcotte.
That's Bill Turcotte. That's my grandfather.
Right.
I spent every other weekend of my life. Basically, when I was born, I became attached. If I was around him, I was with him. I was sitting in his lap.
Okay, we're going to take a break as we fill in on the Clay Edwards Show. Of course, I'm Chip Matthews, your host for this, your guest host, along with Taylor Turcotte. We're both guest hosting today on the Clay Edwards Show.
Clay Edwards Show.
Okay. And we are, and then for those tuning in, we're on every morning at 6 a.m.
Yes.
So wake up and listen to us when we're on. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more right here on the program.
Yes.
If you got something on your mind and want to talk about anything, it's open lines. 601-879-0002. We'll see you. And Debbie, I'll be talking about the event in just a moment.
Open lines 601-879-0002. We'll see you. And Debbie, I'll be talking about
1039 WYAB.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems. And now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty. And right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Priced to fit your budget. At Pops Auto, we specialize in trucks. From four-wheel drive to diesels, our satisfied repeat buyers know Pops has one of the largest truck inventories for any independent dealer, period. Browse Pops inventory at popsautosalesllc.com and get pre-approved for a zero down payment with approved credit. With warranties and service contracts available. Pops Auto Sales, your home for trucks. Highway 49 South in Florence.
Are you a wine enthusiast? Are you looking for the perfect bottle to elevate your next dinner? The ultimate destination for wine lovers is 042 Wine and Spirits on West Government Street in Brandon. They're locally owned, they're locally operated. 042 Wine offers something for everyone, from local favorites to rare vintage wines. 042 Wine and Spirits can help you find your next favorite wine. The friendly and knowledgeable folks at 042 Wine and Spirits will help you find the perfect bottle for every occasion. 042 Wine and Spirits, located on West Government Street in Brandon.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at two locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the Blue Plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
We think diamond prices in most jewelry stores are downright scary.
That's why at Juniker Jewelry Company, we're doing something about it. Because right now, through Saturday, May 3rd, you can buy directly from the Diamond Cutter. It's the Diamond Expo at Juniker Jewelry Company.
Our diamond cutters are flying in fresh production of certified diamonds, every size, shape, and price range. It's the Diamond Expo.
3/4 carat diamonds for less than $1,250.
1 carat starting at $2,500.
And 2 carat diamonds for only $10,000.
Plus, qualified buyers get up to 12 months financing, interest-free.
Guys, this is how you buy a diamond.
Juniker's 2025 Diamond Expo. Save hundreds, even thousands, directly from our cutters.
But hurry, it all ends this Saturday at 6 p.m.
And I'll be there to shake your hand.
Juniker Jewelry Company. We're at 1485 Highland Colony Parkway, just south of 463 in Madison, and online at junikerjewelry.com, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
Dr. Mike Stonington here from Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. We are grass-fed and grass-finished beef. No hormones, no antibiotics, no grain, no broad spraying of herbicides or pesticides. And never, I mean never, do we use mRNA vaccines. We are 100% local and 100% Mississippi. Our calves were born in Mississippi, raised on Stonington Farm, and processed in Mississippi. Contact us at StoningtonFarm.com. That's StoningtonFarm.com with 2 N's. We are the grass-fed difference.
The weather is heating up and the deals are even hotter at Mazda of Jackson. Right now at Mazda of Jackson, you can drive home your dream Mazda with low financing rates available. 2.9% for 72 months on most models, or finance 36 months and pay just 0.9%. That's right, 0.9%. Experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules.
Here we go.
When necessary.
Breaking rules when necessary. The Clay Edwards Show. Everybody enjoys it, and he'll have some subjects up today. I'm sure he'll be posting later on, and he's out on assignment. And your guest host this morning is your people that are sitting here.
Yes.
I am, of course, Chip Matthews of the Chip Matthews Show, and she is Taylor Turcotte, also of the Chip Matthews Show. So everybody's gonna say, "Why didn't she have a name on her show?" Because I'm the star.
You are.
I'm the star.
I don't really do radio alone.
No. And
I'm
nor should
always on the show with you or
nor should
else.
anyone do anything alone. But anyway.
Although I don't think that I've ever been on any.
Okay.
Anyway,
let's go back over here on this thing and see what people are saying. Marshall has checked in. He says you may have already talked about it, but what do you think about the Democratic primary mayoral recount or issues in Canton? How do you think it will turn out? Well, I'm going to tell you this. There is a faction of people that are concerned about it because it works this way. On the machine count, Camelia Walker won by one vote. Okay. Once the affidavits and the absentees were counted, Tim Taylor won by 35 votes. Okay. There are a number of envelopes that have not been opened. Okay. And then they went to court and they said that affidavit votes for the people that are in the annexed area would be scanned through the machine.
Right.
Well, there are people that voted in that area that were not scanned through a machine because they had not been they weren't registered to vote in Canton.
Okay.
And they're saying there's 3,000 people that live in the annexed area that were never put on the poll books in Canton, which if they hadn't been put on the poll books, I don't know how you redraw the lines for the districts because you don't show that the people exist. So it's a legitimate complaint. It's as far as that goes, but if I knew more about how they drew the lines, that would be one thing. Then the next thing is, it is a response. I don't know where this lies. I'm going to talk to Secretary of State's office today. Is it the responsibility of the person to go register for your city to vote? If you're registered to vote
right
in the county and you get sucked into a city, do you have to re-register as from that city? Or is the supervisors and all that or whatever, they're supposed to put you into the SIM system and you know that you're going to be part of the election process?
It would seem like it. I would think so. Because I go from voting, I didn't register separately to vote in Jackson.
Well, when you're in,
and we go to the same precincts.
But I'm talking about once you live in a city, when you go and register to vote, you're registered at that address,
right,
on the books,
right,
and so you live there.
But that whole annexed areas should be on the books as county voters because they would vote. They may not vote in the city elections this year. They voted last year. They voted the year before in the state.
So this would be the county election commissioners should have added them to the city poll books, right? Because the election commissioners, you got to understand that
there's a whole nother set of
not everybody has access to SIMs. Election commissioners can put people on or off the rolls.
Right. But the 5 election commissioners in Hinds County are not handling the Jackson municipal races. So is that true in Canton as well?
Well, I'm saying those people would handle putting those people on the books or not putting them on the books because that's where they live in the county.
Right.
So it seems to me once you drew the lines
and you claim them as part of the city,
they would be on your poll books.
They should be.
But they don't exist. And then the biggest problem there is You say the 3,000 people. The other side of that is the people that are in apartment complexes usually never register to vote, and they're just transient. You know, there's some people out there. I know some people that live out there that did vote, and they voted by affidavit. I know they did.
Yeah.
Because I was there for the affidavit count. As to what will happen,
I'd say bare minimum, you need to straighten that out for
her paperwork says the will of the people is why she's doing this, why she'll be going through them tomorrow at 1:00. And of course, your host, Chip Matthews, will be there.
Yep.
I will be there as media watching the situation, but and see what's going to unfold.
I heard.
What'd you hear?
From something. I was told that in Hinds County that there are certain polls that they basically don't turn in until they need the votes and they know how they're going to go. So is that what's going on up there? Is that they know what's in those envelopes and they basically set it up to be the surprise at the very end?
I'm just, you don't know. You don't know. And that takes you
back. And of course you can't prove anything because it didn't say. No.
But that takes you back to this.
Mm-hmm.
It takes you back to this.
Mm-hmm.
If election day mattered and you just stopped on election day,
yep,
that would be that.
That would be that.
Votes in the mail, everything.
One day.
You don't know how many came in the mail that were postmarked.
Right.
Election day.
Right.
Because they could go through the machine by midnight. Or in Canton, all of them are kept securely in the city hall.
We have got to change these laws because if you are going to absentee vote because you cannot vote on the day, that means that you have your ballot in hand. Those need to be in and counted earlier. I'm sorry, but people are going to have to start setting for some sort of compromise. If you're going to vote early, it has to be in and they have to be done 5 days before the election. That the close off for that is, I mean, saying that you have all that time to vote, but then you have until election day to get it in the mail. That if you can put it in the mail on election day, you should be standing at that poll instead.
Well, the deal is this. We already have early voting in this state through absentee voting.
We do.
Okay. And it is good because you have to show up with an ID and you have to vote absentee and you have enough days to where your vote, there's no reason for the vote.
Exactly. There's no reason.
There's no reason for it to be late.
There's no exactly.
And then there's no reason for us to wait 5 days to certify an election just because back when Delbert was setting this up, he says, if you got an ID and you don't have it on election day, you can vote. You can bring it 5 days later. That's the problem.
Exactly.
And so, and the legislature could fix this real quick. That's an easy one.
Because you can't tell me that there's going to be enough votes in anything like that to swing an election. Enough. It all sounds like a way to cheat. A way to hold on to things and at the last minute drop in what you need to win. Let's put it this way.
I'm not saying that the mayor of Canton would do anything dishonest, although he's been in office with no legal votes for 4 years. They took 3 or 4 months before they counted our stuff when we did the challenge.
Exactly.
Okay. And all of the stuff was kept in his office.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
he controlled his own election after that.
None of the boxes were sealed. None of the material was there together. So for the last 5 days, all the voting material has been in
his office.
In his office, probably, or down the hall.
Untrustworthy. Someone who is untrustworthy.
And the last time we did now the current clerk in Canton is solid. She seems to be very much on her game and not afraid to not answer the questions. And she seems to know the process. In the past, we have fired the clerk right before the election to bring in his own clerk. But this time around, I think we have a solid clerk who understands the rules. And I've sat down and when I've spoken with her, she's seen, and I watched her on the news last night. She seemed to
I'm going to follow your lead on that.
She seems to understand what's going on.
Okay.
And, she knows that Truly's gone after this. He's gone. So she will have a new mayor regardless, and that's that. But we're watching and we're keeping up with it and people are welcome to go. And that's that.
It will always bother me when people that I know have done wrong things.
But she wasn't there. She wasn't there 4 years ago. She was not the clerk 4 years ago. We've had 6 or 7
I'm
clerks.
not sure who we're talking about, but I know there's one person who.
No, not her.
Who has been
the COO? No, that she's there in the office, but she allegedly has no clerking duties. But she did at the time of the person you're speaking of had some things, was doing some help while the clerk was suspended during the qualifying period of the
clerk
election.
that was suspended is back. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. Good. That's what I would want.
But
the clerk who was there before, who had been suspended, is now back.
Right.
Gotcha.
And
good.
Canton is a strange place.
She's gonna be your clerk. I'm glad you like her.
Well, yes. I'm glad I do too.
Because you're gonna be the mayor, Chip.
I'm going to be the mayor.
Chip Matthews for mayor of Canton and Kim Wade for mayor of Jackson.
If they'll get out and vote. Good morning, Beth Bryant.
You've got 20. The exact same amount of people showed up last in this mayoral primary in Jackson with Chokwe and John Horn as showed up in around 20,000 people that always shows up in the mayoral primary. People we've got to show up.
And it's sad.
We need 100,000 people to vote in this election.
It's sad that of the 20,000,
75,000,
that of the 20,000 people that do vote in Jackson, that 10% of that is fraud, at least. Do you realize that 10% of the 20%, maybe a higher number than
low?
That? And like in
that's what I'm saying. What?
In Canton, in Canton, we're talking about 1,500 people vote, or 20, maybe, about 1,400, 1,500 people will vote, and there will be fraud in that. It's amazing. It happens every time.
Yep.
I would like to see it change. We hope it changes this election
June
cycle.
3rd. Everybody gets to vote on June 3rd. Whether it's not primaries. It's everybody.
And you can
vote. It's your independents, Republicans, Democrats. It's all of us.
Republican, Democrat, Independent.
Yep.
I believe that your choice should be Taylor Turcotte in Ward 7 in Jackson.
Yep.
I believe Kim Wade should be your mayor in Jackson.
Yep.
And I believe Chip Matthews should be your mayor in Canton.
I'd like for Stokes to stay on in his. I saw his signs. His signs look a lot like Chip Matthews. Y'all are using the black and white?
No, I use in the black and white, but his looked like gang tags.
No, it doesn't. I've seen the ones that I saw going home yesterday because I went down north side.
You the ones that just say Stokes?
They say, but it's black. It's like yours. It's block letters on a black background. Kenneth I. Stokes.
Okay, no, he's got some that look like tags. Gang tags.
That looks like spray paint tags.
And they're up all over town. They stay up one of those. They stay up year round.
Well, these the ones I've seen are his new campaign signs.
Okay.
So I like Stokes. I like Ashby. Foot.
Okay. Okay, we will be back with more program right after this on the Clay Edwards Show. I'm Chip Matthews. She's Taylor Turcotte. Breaking rules when necessary. I am Chip Matthews. She is Taylor Turcotte. We're filling in for the Clay Edwards Show. Good morning to everybody online. I see more people have checked in. Let's see. Did I say Beth Bryant? And I see Kathy. And yeah, everybody's still there.
Okay.
Irene Jackson is active on the line talking about confusion in elections and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it does make sense to be if you're going to revamp our laws on elections.
Yep.
Now, of course, we're in violation of the new federal executive order because we do take ballots after election day.
Yep.
So federally, that will be the new thing. Why was the annexation carried out 1 week or a few days before the election? Well, it wasn't. The annexation was actually 4 or 5 years ago. When Gluckstadt became a city 4 years ago, that's when that area was annexed. And then I have asked questions about the division on where everybody went. And there shouldn't have been any confusion. But, you know, when people are manipulating precincts, that's when you get it.
Yep.
That's why that is, Irene. It wasn't annexed recently. It was annexed a while back.
I think we need to completely rethink the way that we do elections. Why don't we have one person that is that runs everything, that we can keep underneath a microscope? That
it was 2023 or 2022 when that judge's ruling came in.
We've got to have big election reform. This just is not gonna.
But I mean, a lot of people don't realize Canton goes on the west side of the interstate all the way to Germantown High School. Right across from Germantown High School is Canton city limits.
Wow. Okay.
Where your pie is and all that, that's Canton.
Right. And that's just right off the interstate at the exit, right?
Right. At the Sowell Road exit.
Yeah. Because one of the little girls from Canton Academy, she was talking about somewhere where she worked, and I saw it. I mean, you literally drive down the interstate and it's like nothing. And then all of a sudden
You're talking about Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Amelia. Okay.
Okay. But Canton and Jackson are in a unique crossroads. And Lawrence Blackman last night was hitting the head on the thing. He says, right now, this election is a time for change in Canton.
It is.
But he didn't push any candidate or anything like that. He came in there and just said, we've got to move and take care of the city. And he was talking about all the money that was coming into the city of Canton. He was talking about all of that. Yeah, the vote, Sylvia, all the votes have been counted. They're just going to now recount the votes to see if we get a different number than we did the first time. You know, that's what's going on. That's what a box.
It's a ballot box inspection, is it not?
Box examination.
Well, I'm not going to down her for that, because I think every candidate who runs in an election should do a ballot box inspection. I assume I probably will do one on mine.
Well, the reality is, if you don't do a box examination, you will never know
how it works,
what goes on inside.
Behind
and I mean, I would bet that
nobody.
I would bet that less than 1% of our elected state officials have any idea what you go through in a box examination or what goes on in the election process.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've done 2 of them, and I've not seen anyone from the Secretary of State's office there while we were doing them. And I know that the first one that they knew about, because I was sitting in their office the morning before I started
but my
it.
question to you is if they were there.
Why?
If they were there.
If they were there.
There is nothing they can do except write down what's going on.
I don't care. They should at least be observing it, don't you think?
Yes, I do. I will be
monitoring it, right?
I'll be calling them to ask them to come to Canton and write it down.
And watch that. I mean, I would think that it's only responsible that they would have somebody sitting there watching these audits go on.
But your Secretary of State's always looking for his next job up. You know, that's exactly.
I'm not asking him to be there. I'm asking him to send somebody to be there.
Yeah, because that is the issue. The issue is when you see fraud and you see that boxes are unsealed, they wouldn't be allowed to stand up and tell you to stop.
When you see boxes that are completely.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
We got a news break. I'm Chip Matthews. She's Taylor Turcotte. We're sitting in on the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be back to talk more about elections in a moment.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Michael Wallace. There will be anti-Trump protests across the country on this May Day, or International Labor Day. Jackson Potter is the vice president of the Chicago Teachers Union.
The very constitutional pillars of First Amendment protections are under attack.
David Mittich is with the grassroots group May Day Movement USA.
We are advocating and urging Congress to act and impeach, convict, and remove the president.
That group's holding a rally on the National Mall in Washington. The U.S. and Ukraine have signed an economic deal giving the U.S. access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Here's CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
The deal will provide the United States access to new investment projects. Okay, so that's key. Natural resources, including aluminum, graphite, oil, and natural gas.
Now that the Trump administration has frozen more than $2 billion of federal funding for Harvard, some professors are pitching in. More from WBZ's Jim McKay.
Several dozen faculty members at Harvard have pledged to donate 10% of their salaries for an entire year to help Harvard in their legal battles against the Trump administration. While 80 members have committed to the 10% salary pledge thus far, they're still collecting signatures.
A 13-year-old boy who killed a bicyclist while driving a stolen car in Albuquerque has been sentenced to the maximum. He will stay in juvenile jail until he turns 21. Relatives of the victim, 63-year-old Scott Habermel, spoke at the boy's sentencing.
Things like this shouldn't happen to people like Scott. He was a hard worker. He had earned a PhD in physics, contributed to the security of our nation through his brilliant and groundbreaking scientific work.
The boy admitted he rammed into Habermel for fun. A man is in critical condition after he fell from the bleachers during last night's Cubs-Pirates game in Pittsburgh.
It happened during the 7th inning.
I was watching the play, and all of a sudden I saw that McCutcheon and the second baseman were looking at right center field, and I was like, what's going on?
Sportsnet MLB with the play-by-play.
Someone fell from above the Clemente wall, apparently.
A man plunged over 20 feet from the stands and landed on the warning track area of right field. Manager Derek Shelton after the game.
It's extremely unfortunate. I mean, that's an understatement.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
The Tony nominations are out.
What's this place called?
Buena Vista Social Club.
Buena Vista Social Club is up for Best Musical against Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, Maybe Happy Ending, and Operation Mincemeat. Nominees for Best Play are English, The Hills of California, John Proctor is the Villain, Oh Mary, and Purpose. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-472-0467. 800-472-0467. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-472.
News this hour is brought to you by the Rusty Healy Agency in Madison. Call Rusty Healy or Landon Thompson at 601-856-3681 to request a quote or learn more.
As many as 2,500 jobs. Strong to severe storms possible this afternoon and evening. The high is 86. The rain chance 80%. Tonight, a 60% chance for thunderstorms with a low at 65. A 50% chance for more thunderstorms Friday with a high at 86. With news on 103.9 WIAB, I'm Chris Davis.
3, 2, 1.
The sound of progress as building begins at the South Point Industrial Park in Grenada along I-55.
Should be about $250 million for the property tax out here, about 2,500 jobs.
Joe Hollingsworth, one of the developers, talking to reporters Wednesday after the groundbreaking. Earl Washington has been caught. He is the Natchez man wanted for the beating and robbery of a woman in Greenville September 12th. Washington was caught by U.S. Marshals in Texas and will be returned to Mississippi. In Ridgeland, 4 people busted. Police believe they are responsible for breaking into cars at apartment complexes throughout April. 3 of them were arrested last week. 18-year-old Brian Jamal Davis, 18-year-old Braden Pierre Bethay, and a 13-year-old. Brandon Gordon of Durant is suspected of being involved in what's described as a massive car theft ring throughout the southeastern United States. He was arrested after a brief chase in Carroll County, driving a car stolen in Florida, says Sheriff Clint Walker. A revenge porn arrest. You don't hear about those too often. Lumberton Police Chief Elsie Cowart says Keyshawn Osha Parker, 29, was charged with making revenge porn, namely videos of a person engaged in intimate activities without their consent. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WIAB. I'm Chris Davis. Your pie could really be your pie. It's your opportunity to provide for your family and have a lot of fun at the same time. Gluckstadt and Madison County, some of the fastest growing areas in Mississippi, and Your Pie is looking for people interested in ownership to make an investment that could pay off with a more secure future for your family. If you're interested, contact Your Pie on Calhoun Station Parkway today. Your Pie could really be your pie.
Malone is a company in motion, striving daily to improve the way the roofing industry operates and is perceived. A leader in commercial and residential roofing, metal walls, and maintenance. Malone means the highest quality materials delivered with expertise workmanship from a claim or construction. At Malone, you found your roofing and metal walls partner. Malone has proven for generations there is nothing we can't accomplish. Protecting people and what matters to you. More info at ecmalone.com.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We have accomplished that.
And more testosterone for your morning drive.
But when you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal. And they don't care. And everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now. And I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a motherfucker.
Strap in, turn up the volume, and get ready, Jackson, for unfiltered, no sugar added talk radio. It's award-winning podcaster Clay Edwards.
And you have been duped again. It is Chip Matthews filling in, guest hosting for Clay Edwards, who is on assignment.
On assignment.
On assignment. And also with me this morning is the lovely and talented Taylor Turcotte.
Hello, everyone.
Who is running for Ward 7 Council in Jackson.
Yep.
And then, of course, I
June
am running
3rd.
for mayor of Canton. And then, of course, on this radio station, Radio Strongman, Kim Wade. He'll be on at 4 o'clock. And, of course, he is running for mayor.
Mayor of Jackson.
Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And
Kim's going to be a great mayor of Jackson, too.
okay, we're going to hit this one more time just because there are people tuning in that didn't hear it.
Okay.
We're going to talk about, just for a second, the Lawrence Blackman event last night. It was about crime in Canton and murders that are unsolved, and the Canton police not coming forward and getting these crimes solved.
Right.
They're not getting up in touch with people and updating them on where they are on crimes and this, that, and the other.
Right.
This is for the last 5 years. And if you take it per capita, Canton has a higher murder rate
Then Jackson. Yep.
Yeah, and and the sad thing is, we're in a room of about 400 people last night. We're in a room that everybody there knew somebody that was shot or killed. So it's affecting an entire city.
It is.
And everybody in Canton, when you look at the whole town, encompass the whole town, everybody in Canton pretty much knows everybody. So crime, when it occurs, it doesn't happen to one, it happens to all.
Yep.
And Canton has always been a family, the whole city.
Yep.
And it's more so now than it was years ago, but it is changed. And I mean, But people come to Canton and they see the Christmas festival and they go, Canton's such a pretty town. And they don't realize, they think that all the stores are just closed because it's late at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
No, the stores there's some there and there's some that don't exist.
Yep.
We got to get the square filled back up with businesses.
Yep.
We've got to get it's got to quit looking like a burned out hellhole. Period. That's the reality.
Yeah.
So we've got to work on the bones. We have great bones in Canton. We have exactly what Ridgeland built in Renaissance. We have a cute town that everybody wants to be in. And everybody
history.
Goes, well, it's not safe to go to Canton. Well, they go for Christmas. They go for the flea market.
What do you mean it's not safe to go to Canton?
Well, it's not safe at certain hours, like at
certain hours.
At 2 o'clock in the morning when 14-year-olds are driving around in cars and shooting people.
Yeah, no, you should all be in bed anyway.
Yeah.
So get out during the day and go to these places.
And they were talking about the culture last night at the event. Now, this thing was not a political event. I want everybody to understand that Lawrence Blackman pulled an event that was not a political event. It was about the people. It was about the families that had experienced murders in their family, and the city of Canton leadership has not addressed it, not solved the cases.
Right.
And they believe, and I mean, there was a statement made that they knew who killed the person, and nobody wants to step up and talk.
Yep. And that, I think, as this is kind of, I'm having more time to think about it. I'm betting that with Blackman, I bet being there that night and having to engage with your people that rawly.
Yeah.
I bet that night had a
as he tells the story.
I mean, emotionally, I'm sure that it's pretty hard to have to stand there and deal with your people in that kind of crisis.
He's going through PTSD is what he's going through.
Yeah.
Because he was in his office. He says, I heard gunfire, and first thing we do is we all drop to the floor.
Yep.
And then you wait for the car to speed off, and then you know it's safe to come out.
Yep.
And he comes out and goes to check to see what had happened. And he gets there, and it's somebody he knows laying on the ground, bullet in the head, dying.
Yep.
And
all of his constituents now circling him.
And everybody walking up to him saying, Lawrence, we know, blah, 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 and wanting to talk to him.
Yep. Afraid.
And there were other people there that there was one other person that was with him that they were talking to is that owns the barbershop in town. But they weren't talking to the police, and the police weren't gathering information.
Yep.
You know, it's just a crime scene.
Yep.
It should be blocked off as a crime scene and things occurring.
Yep.
And they're saying that did not occur or not that quick. And then, of course, the police chief didn't come out and make statements and tell you anything. And, I mean, Blackman was sitting there saying, we know who did this. And he was on the camera pointing at it last night. I got to go look on Facebook and find his post on that event last night. But he says, we know who did it. And they refused to go get the guy.
Wow. Call somebody in to come get him.
And they even had one.
Cash was on the coast. Cash Patel, head of the FBI, was on the coast 2 days ago. So.
Well, we have Hinkle too. Hinkle can come help us.
Well, all they have to do is find him and arrest him, right? Take him to jail.
Yeah, and prosecute him and win.
Well, and the first step is getting him off the street so that the people aren't afraid that he's going to show up at their house.
Well, that's what's going on.
Because that's what.
That's what the people in the neighborhood say, that the people show up at their house with a gun
and brandish it at them, scare them,
and explain to them that if they talk,
you're in trouble. This is going to happen. Yep.
And if we have that kind of gang activity going on in Canton, we need to address it.
Yep.
And take care of it. And it's like I told everybody last night. When you need to call 911 and you want to call anonymously, we need the 911 to light up only for the purpose of having a record of how many people are calling 911.
Yep.
Because if you're in a town of, let's say Canton's 15,000 people, let's say if you got 15,000 people, if 15,000 people in Canton, if you shoot a gun in Canton, everybody hears it.
Yep.
Those 15,000 people call in and it's 911 then. Yeah. Eventually.
I'd never thought about that even if they don't answer, that it still shows up as a call coming in.
There's a record of 911 calls.
Even if it's not, as long as it rings.
As long as it rings.
And
they're recorded. So you've got to do that. Calling 911 is information that politicians can use.
Yep.
To fix problems.
Right. Well, but I know that in Jackson, everybody knows that if you call 911, you're probably not going. Well, let me not say that.
You don't always
get an answer. A couple
of
years ago,
Look,
let's even say last year I called 911 several times and nobody answered.
I've called Canton's 911 and they never answer.
Yep.
And the funny thing is I can call on, and the funny thing is every time there's gunfire around my house, I call immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But,
well, I was not doing that because we heard,
But I call. But I mean, the thing, and I hear gunfire on a regular basis. They shot up my house a few years ago, 60 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they also hit my neighbor's house to either side of me. And the police chief at the time told me, no, they weren't shooting at you. I'm the house in the middle. I'm the house in the middle. What do you mean they weren't shooting?
They're shooting at one of us, are they not?
They're shooting at this house and this house. And one of my neighbors came out with a gun ready to go. And then they said, we can't find anything at the scene. I mean, their investigation of shooting up the houses was all of 17 minutes. Okay.
Nice.
The fire truck showed up. It was on the end of the street. Didn't come up to where the cars were on fire. They'd set 2 cars on fire, and my neighbor actually put the fires out. They'd cut all the tires on fire, and he put out the fire gun. And I asked the policeman if they had a fire extinguisher in their car, and we don't carry those. I was just like, "What is this? What is this? What is going on here?" And then they couldn't find any shells, and I went and found like 30. On the ground. My neighbor did. My neighbor found the 30, and we went to those, and they picked up some of those and threw them in a baggie. Just not checking it. They're not picking them up a certain way to whether you could look and see if they had anything on it. But the next day, I got out there, and because it was election season, they showed up, and it was the FBI, and they were out investigating the yard, and so was Mississippi. I mean, the houses, there are bullet holes still in my house.
Yikes.
Because I've asked for a police report to give to my insurance company.
Yeah. No police report?
No police report.
Your house got shot up and you cannot get you have bullet holes still in your house and you cannot get a police report so that you can get your insurance to fix the bullet holes.
Correct.
I would maybe understand why these people are so scared now.
Yeah.
I would understand why I might not want to say that so-and-so is threatened to kill all of us here.
Well, there's an instant that it occurred.
Just stand up in the middle and
there's a piece of paper you can get that we had a call. We went to this house, blah. That's all it says. That's all the statement. And I said, I came in and gave a written statement. Where's it? I don't know.
Who holds them accountable?
That's what I'm saying. And that's what the last night was about, was holding the police and the elected officials accountable for what's going on in the city.
Well, I mean, I will say it again. I said it in the 6 o'clock hour. I'll say it again. The leader has got to be the hardest worker on the team, or it will never work.
Right. And
so if whoever's, it will take it off the police on the streets. It's at the top of the police department and the top of the.
Well, I will say this, period. The buck stops at the mayor's office. The mayor should be forthright involved. And our mayor that we currently have, he loves to talk. I don't know why he hadn't been out there, blah, 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 blah. The children, blah, blah, blah. We'll teach them how to read at 4 and this at 5 and this at 6. No, he didn't do that. He hadn't done that. It's like if they know who committed, and then everybody keeps saying we know who committed the crime. Well, if you know who committed the crime, get them off the damn street.
Yeah.
Even in his news conference when because he had to speak to my house being shot.
Right.
Even when my house got shot and we were in the middle of a election going on, and we were also prosecuting people for election fraud at the time.
Right.
My house got shot up. The witness the next day's house got shot up. The witness the next day's house got shot up. And everybody said, that's just a coincidence. They're not connected and have nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, that means they know exactly what's going on.
And all these witnesses at these other houses, they didn't look like me. And they lived 8 or 9 blocks away from me at their houses being shot up and intimidated.
Yep.
But that's the way it goes.
Well,
we've got to stop it.
We do.
We got to stop it. And,
if all citizens stand up together, they can flip a table. We have so much control if we'll all just stand up.
And the funny thing is, my story about what happens in Canton, people, I tell everybody all the time, I almost need to lie for you to believe the real story, because you cannot believe it's that bad, but it is that bad. The story is that bad. The story is real.
Right.
And it's taken forever for people to realize that the story is real. And so we got to take a break. We're here on the Clay Edwards Show. I am Chip Matthews. She is Taylor Turcotte. And we'll be back right after this on the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. Show here on WYAB.
1039 WYAB.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Looking to boost productivity and morale in the office? Let Huey Magoo's bring a delicious stress-free lunch right to your workplace. Perfect for team meetings, client presentations, or just a midday pick-me-up. Hand-breaded and grilled tenders, sandwiches, and salads. They make it easy. Just pick your favorites, and they'll deliver everything right to your office. On time, no fuss, no hassle. Whether it's a working lunch, team celebration, or just because, let Huey Magoo's handle the meal, and you handle the business. Huey Magoo's. Make someone smile today.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas, because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink specials, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship, where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
This Mother's Day, we celebrate the women who help the world bloom. Green Oak has roses by the dozen, beautiful gift baskets, and cut flower arrangements of her favorite color and variety. Let Mom know how special and loved she is. That message is best said with flowers. So this Mother's Day, make sure she has the best by letting Green Oak's design team put together a custom arrangement or gift basket just for her. Visit Green Oak in Jackson, next to Palm Bridges Park, at the Township in Ridgeland, or order online at our new website, greenoakms.com. Happy Mother's Day from all of us at Green Oak.
Your pie could really be your pie. It's your opportunity to provide for your family and have a lot of fun at the same time. Gluckstadt and Madison County, some of the fastest growing areas in Mississippi, and Your Pie is looking for people interested in ownership to make an investment that could pay off with a more secure future for your family. If you're interested, contact Your Pie on Calhoun Station Parkway today. Your Pie could really be your pie.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrio Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrio is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrio's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrio and taste the traditions. El Patrio, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
Are you hosting an event? Let Burgers Blues Barbecue handle the food while you enjoy the moment. From an important lunch to a dreamy wedding, B3 Catering is sure to please everyone. Find Burgers Blues Barbecue online and click the catering tab, or just give us a call. And when you're dining out, visit Burgers Blues Barbecue in Flowood, Brandon, or Madison for incredible plates served fresh daily. Burgers Blues Barbecue and B3 Catering, a delicious combination.
Pet emergencies don't wait, so why should you? At Urge Vet Emergency Vets of Madison, we offer low wait times and cutting-edge technology to provide fast, expert care for all household pets. Our hours of operation are weeknights 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and 24 hours on weekends and holidays. Our phone number is 601-790-1918, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Because when it comes to your pet's health, trust the team that's fast, reliable, and compassionate.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Breaking rules when necessary here on the Clay Edwards Show.
Necessary a lot these days.
I'm Chip Matthews. She's Taylor Turcotte. Mike Agoba What do you got here? That was one of the reasons why we moved out of Canton because of the shootings. The east end of Center Street was becoming seedy back in the mid-90s. I still have hope for Canton. I have lots of hope for Canton. Canton can be a great place again. And it can be the town that it was when I was growing up.
And it's not like it's really hard because everything's been burned out of both Jackson and Canton. All we got to do is just kick it up.
Last night, that event, people were there. Who cared?
Yep.
And I knew a lot of the faces.
Yep.
From growing up, from working at Fast Pack as a kid.
Yep.
There were people that I remember waiting on when I was 11, 12, 13.
Wow.
Oh, well, I was working.
Chip, you're going to be a great man.
Oh, yeah.
When I was 11, 12,
Oh, yeah.
13.
Ooh.
Wow. You've been there.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, Canton is.
And I mean that when I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about why I want Kim Wade to win so bad for mayor is because Kim, you and Kim both have got such strong working knowledges of the history of what has gone on in these two cities and how to clean it up. And until we figure out, until we look at what has happened and know what has gone wrong, we can't fix it.
Well, the history is
know where
this.
the problem is.
The history is you need to bring back the amenities we had.
We can't
growing
fix it.
up.
Well, the history is
Okay. Like, for instance, as a kid, when we left Canton to come to Jackson, Jackson began when I was a kid, when you got to St. Dominic's. Everything else was blank.
Okay. Yep.
Blank slate.
Yep.
So you got to St. Dominic's, that's when you in Jackson. We'd go downtown. I remember the last tux that I rented in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I rented at the McRae's downtown.
Okay.
And went down there to get it. And stuff
Right,
like that.
right.
You could walk the streets and everything there. The Crystal was on the corner.
Yep.
And you think about all the things that used to be down there. You'd go to the Lamar, before the Lamar was the Lamar nightclub. It was the Lamar Theater. You had several theaters, and you could go. I watched a mini of a Walt Disney movie when they were good and weren't controversial.
Yep.
I watched them down there. I remember going to see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, you
downtown.
Chitty Bang Bang?
And my last movie at the Capri back in the day would have been Endless Love.
Oh, goodness.
And I went with my date. I won't say her last name, but I went with my date to go see it. Then we broke up like a week or two later.
You know, that's where my family's farm was in the 1900s. Where the Capri Theater is.
Yeah.
That was where the farm of my great aunt and my great great grandfather, who had a store, one of the first stores in Jackson and Spangler's.
And that would make so much sense since that would be right next to the insane asylum.
Actually, I found an article where he had to put, he undoubtedly had something, my great aunt's husband, E.B. Cook, had something to do with the asylum, because I found a newspaper article about him having to bring his sister in town and putting up.
The people that bought the franchise for Sally Mookie's out in Madison, they were trying to once put a club together in that area called the Asylum.
Oh, wow.
And that was going to be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool down there. But yeah, when they notified my grandmother that my grandfather was missing in action, it came to 535 Mitchell Avenue. So right there where supposedly in like the 40s, my great grandmother sold the property off and moved into a house behind like the shoe store and all that.
Okay. See, and then we talk about shoe store. Canton, Mississippi does not have a shoe store.
Really?
You can't go buy shoes.
Well, you don't really buy shoes from shoe stores anymore unless they're like DSW.
Back then, I'm talking about when you get it
I know.
measured
You'd
and put
sit down,
on.
and he would actually sit down in front of you.
And they'd bring you 5 pair, and you'd say, "Here, try these." That's the Canton I grew up in. You go into a men's clothing store, and you were going to get measured up. And they put you on file. And you'd call them up and say, "Hey, I need a new shirt." Let's say, "These are the swatches. Pick one."
There was one in Clinton next to the Jitney Jungle right there across from Kitchens Drive where I was raised. And I remember the first pair of shoes that had wheels in them, roller skates in them. Do you remember those? The wooden.
That was after my time. I wasn't a kid.
Oh, well, it was early. That was early 70s. And it was a shoe store. I remember.
We had skates. We had the metal skates that you had to clamp on.
Yeah, no, these were a pair of wooden heels that it was the first pair of skates shoes. I remember being of course we didn't have the money.
Did you have any?
No, we were poor.
And that was another thing that I was thinking about of all the people in there. Everybody in that room last night struggles.
Struggles.
I struggle, you struggle. We all eat from the same table. We eat from the same food, and we all struggle to make a living in Mississippi. And that's the way it is. But we don't give up in Mississippi.
No.
We don't give up. And so that's what's going on with the town right there.
That's why we're all
Okay, let's see. Jimmy Rogers, my uncle owned the area of the Jackson Mall before it was built. Chip, I'll send you some pictures. Yeah, I find that pretty interesting, Mr. Rogers. We have a Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Chip, I'll send you some pictures. Yeah,
Mr.
I find that pretty interesting, Mr. Rogers.
And but the reality is, I remember when Jackson Mall opened on our program, and we all went down there, and it was cool. And then I remember when the Metro opened.
Oh, I remember when the Metro opened.
I was dating a girl whose family had a limousine, so we rode with the grandma over there in the limousine, and it was so massive. I mean, and I look at it now and I go, how did we ever do this?
I know.
We lost the limousine and had to take a taxi home.
You lost the limousine?
We lost.
You forgot where you parked it?
No, I didn't.
Well, she did.
I guess I did park it. But to us, Jackson, that place was so big. And you didn't know what door you came in and what door you went out of.
Yep.
We lost the limousine.
Yep.
And it was actually right where we left it.
Mm-hmm. On Friday nights, we'd go to the Metro and walk around.
I mean, that was the thing. Did you get an airbrush shirt?
No.
Okay.
We were poor. We didn't have expendable.
Did you get to go to the Corn Dog 7?
That was the thing. Did you get an airbrush shirt?
No.
Okay.
I did in college. Biloxi, at the mall in Biloxi, they had one. I remember that. But see, I wouldn't. See, I've moved around a little bit.
Anybody got anything on their mind they want to talk about? Give us a call, 601-879-0002. It's time to take another break here on the Clay Edwards Show. We are Chip Matthews and Taylor Turcotte sitting in today. Good morning.
Here on the Clay Edwards Show. We are Chip Matthews and Taylor Turcotte sitting in today. Good morning.
.1039 WYAB.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps, and more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions, at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Priced to fit your budget. At Pops Auto, we specialize in trucks. From four-wheel drives to diesels, our satisfied repeat buyers know Pops has one of the largest truck inventories for any independent dealer, period. Browse Pops inventory at popsautosalesllc.com and get pre-approved for a zero down payment with approved credit, with warranties and service contracts available. Pops Auto Sales, your home for trucks. Highway 49 South in Florence.
Are you a wine enthusiast? Are you looking for the perfect bottle to elevate your next dinner? The ultimate destination for wine lovers is 042 Wine and Spirits on West Government Street in Brandon. The locally owned, the locally operated 042 Wine offers something for everyone, from local favorites to rare vintage wines. 042 Wine and Spirits can help you find your next favorite wine. The friendly and knowledgeable folks at 042 Wine and Spirits will help you find the perfect bottle for every occasion. 042 Wine and Spirits, located on West Government Street in Brandon.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
The weather is heating up and the deals are even hotter at Mazda of Jackson. Right now at Mazda of Jackson, you can drive home your dream Mazda with low financing rates available. 2.9% for 72 months on most models, or finance 36 months and pay just 0.9%. That's right, 0.9%. Experience Mazda's exhilarating performance, top-notch safety, and reliability. It's time to choose Mazda. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show.
Clay
Breaking rules when necessary.
And we're back here on the Clay Edwards Show. Of course, Chip Matthews, she, of course, Taylor Turcotte, and we are filling in for Clay today, guest hosting. And then coming up at 10 o'clock is the one, the only Jameson Haygood.
Yep.
And the Good Fight. And then coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon, Radio Strongman. Kim Wade. Who? Kim Wade. Who? Kim Wade. So y'all tune in and listen to him as he'll talk about the disasters going on in the world. Let's run down all the events that we know that are going on. We got Mary Jo Perry at Riverside tonight in Flowood.
Mm-hmm.
Special guest, Shad White.
Yep, 6:30.
So if you got a question you want to go ask him, go ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Brandon, you have at 6 p.m. at the municipal building, you have the Rankin County zoning meeting where they're talking about the rezoning and the trailer laws and all of that. They'll be out there putting their program together.
I'm looking at Mary Jo's thing at Riverside as well, and she's going to have a signing of the petition for the Rankin County mobile home ordinance.
That's going on there too.
They'll have
both. They're working on their petition.
Yep.
There's a crawfish festival this Saturday at Rattlers Ferry, and all the proceeds are going to the Children's Hospital. It's $30 to get in, and you got 2 bands. Sound Check is one of the bands.
Okay.
But you can go out there and enjoy yourself.
Yep.
Out of Rattlers Ferry.
And then Thursday, May 8th at Jackson State University's East Center from 6 to 8 p.m. Jacksonians for Jackson is having their final mayoral face-off.
There you go.
They've got all of the candidates invited. Kim, as of right now, Kim and Zach are the only 2 that have responded and are participating, but Rodney DePriest, Kenny G, and Senator Horn are all 3 waiting responses. So hopefully they'll show up for that last one.
I'm sure they will, because I mean, it's back to that same problem. The only time a politician can find some people that are gathered, once they're gathered, they can speak to them.
Right.
And then the people can speak back.
Yep.
But you got to go to where they gather. And if they don't want to show up for something like that, they shouldn't be elected.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. That's true.
I mean.
And then Kim's wildlife thing is on the
Kim Wade's.
And see, I didn't get this.
Wildlife extravaganza.
Wildlife extravaganza. It's going to be at the park on.
It'll be at the Jamie Boyle Park.
Yep. On May 17th from noon to 4 p.m. Saturday, May 17th from noon to 4 noon to 4 p.m. This is actually also a fundraiser benefiting the Soldier Fund. I missed that last time.
Okay, and that's at the same park where they do the Wells Fest and all that, right there by Smith-Wills Stadium.
Yep, and it
on
says
Lakeland
that this
Drive.
is nonprofit organization providing resources to veterans and their families.
There
So
you
this
go.
is a veterans event.
And we must support our veterans.
We should. We have first responders, veterans.
Okay.
They need a lot of support.
So if you have an event or anything that we need to talk about, you make sure we know about it. Send it to us on Facebook or send it to us on email or you can do regular mail, whatever.
Yep.
We'll talk about it. We'll help you out with your events. Also, if you would like to be a sponsor on one of these programs here at WYB, you can give us a call, Taylor Turcotte or myself.
I am in advertising, so I can help you in a lot of ways.
And we will sign you up because this radio station is very good at providing people in your building, especially restaurants are all over the air here. I think I don't know, but one pizza place that's not on the air here. Every pizza place is on the air.
Yep.
And my pizza place stays full. Acme Pizza out at the Reservoir. Y'all come out and see me.
Right.
We'll have Jamie Eisenhood on Friday night. I believe we have Jamie Mitchell on Saturday night this week.
Okay.
At the complex.
Yep.
So y'all come on out, enjoy yourself.
Yep.
And it'll be a nice crowd.
Chip can testify to how many people listen to the channel that come into the the restaurant.
I mean, look, this is the only place I've advertised since I opened it. And I first did it to be on Clay's show to help Clay out.
Right.
And then it helped me
It
out
helped
more than Clay ever imagined. I mean, we're 3 years old coming up in June.
Wow. Okay.
And it seems like yesterday I opened the door.
I know.
And I sit there and I go, wow, 3 years.
Yep.
It's great.
Yep. 90% of restaurants fail in their first year, don't they? Is that still the stat?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, yes. I would say basically they failed at 6 months and because in the rest of the 6 months you're in denial.
Yep.
That's the restaurant business.
Yep.
It's a tough business.
It's very hard.
But it's real simple if you have good food. If you have great food.
And a good staff.
And you'll be full. A good staff. We have that.
Y'all do. Y'all do.
We have a few.
Yep. But see, I was part of the staff. You have to have a good staff to have a restaurant.
Okay. So we've had interesting conversations this morning.
We have.
We've talked about what went on in Canton last night when we were going after the police department for not solving murders. That's an important thing. And we know that there are murders out there that you can't solve. But according to the people in the audience, everybody knows who's doing the killing.
And they're afraid.
And for some reason, they're afraid to come forward. And the police allegedly know who it is, and they don't gather information to make it happen.
Yep.
And in both sides, I'm going to tell you this right now. Both sides are welcome to come on our show at any time and talk. I'll have the police chief on. I'll have the mayor of Canton on. I'll have the other candidates on. I don't care.
Yeah.
We're going to sit down and talk. But we got to, when we talk, we're talking about solving problems. We're not talking about politics.
Yep.
The politics is what we're talking is the overall problem. But you got to get
overall problem because most people talk about politics and they never really talk about the problem. They talk about word salad stuff that doesn't really matter, but it sounds good instead of what's actually the problem.
I mean, the reality is you've got to be involved in your community, whether you want to or not. Yeah, I know a lot of you like to go, well, I can mow my yard. I can keep my yard clean, this, that, and the other. I can get out of my house, get to work, come back home, stay out of everybody's business.
It's not going to work anymore.
When you go to bed at night, for some reason, you can't shut out the sound. Well, you can hear the gunfire.
I think that people have tried to go to bed and tried to avoid it and tried to avoid staying up for long enough. And you see where we are.
Well, you got people in bed in Jackson that get shot through the window, shot through the wall.
First thing that I thought when you said that was when I hear shootings around, I think a bullet's going to come through the ceiling because around my house, they're shooting in the air as they go by. So that could land in mine.
My sister, in her house in Canton, off of Peace Street at the time when she was living over there. She comes out one morning in the back of her car had 3 bullet holes that hit where the bullets had fallen down, coming back down. If it goes up, it's coming down.
It's coming down somewhere.
And you look at your car and you got 3 bullet holes in it, and you're like,
yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's not getting better. We, the people, are going to have to stand up and do something.
Exactly.
And everybody who lives in city limits has got the chance on June 3rd to get out and vote. And vote for someone who is not the politician.
So we got to, well, I mean,
work
on building the framework. Make sure the person you put in office is going to be somebody that wants to address the problems, not sweep them under the rug or say they can't be done.
Right. And for the first time, we have got a huge amount of people who are not politicians who are running. Everyday people who are running are finally getting out and running. And we've got
Sylvia
opportunity of a lifetime.
Sylvia just put up there, and she says, does the chief of police in Canton need to be replaced? Why isn't the PD running more efficiently? Well, that's exactly what the crowd was saying last night, that the top down, and there were people there who have officers that their sons were officers in Canton, and they were literally run off by the chief.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're blaming it on the chief. Now, I've known the chief for years, and he is a friendly guy and this, that, and the other. And he's a good old boy, and we'll shake hands and talk to you and kid with you and all that.
I'm glad to know you're a good person. You're not doing your job well.
But the reality is, good people sometimes have to make hard decisions. And if you're going to be the one in charge, unfortunately, you got to be in charge. You got to take the bows, the arrows, and the bullets when they come at you, and you've got to get out there in front.
Yep.
And you
take a lesson from Chief Wade, because Chief Wade is certainly out there in the middle of a lot of it.
It's like back in the day. Somebody brought up Billy Noble yesterday. Billy Noble was the old sheriff from Canton back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody crossed Billy Noble. It was strong,
Good.
It's just like Kurt Fordyce. You weren't going to run over Kurt Fordyce when he was governor.
Right.
What I say goes.
Yep.
That's what you got to be,
Yeah, I'm thankful for my sheriff that I feel is that.
In Canton, and I remember in Vicksburg, I used to do the Sheriff Paul Barrett report.
Mm-hmm.
He was someone, come on here. Well, we had an old shooting last night. We got on the bridge. He was trying to get away. Thank Madison Parish for blocking the other side. And we put about 100 bullet holes in that car, and it finally stopped.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what he said. I mean, it was every day. But people don't play when you don't play.
When you do stuff, it's like when you're raising kids. If you tell a kid to do something, you have to make them do it. If they don't do it, you make them do it, because if you don't make them, every time after that, they're never going to do it again.
It's like when you're raising your kids.
Yes.
You teach them. You're going to clean your room. You're going to make your bed. Oh, I'm going to get back in that bed tomorrow. No, you're going to make your bed.
You're going to do it. I'm telling you right now.
My grandmother has a video.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a video. It was a Super 8 film.
Yeah.
From back in the day. And she filmed us cleaning the house.
Yeah.
And making up the bed. So there's actual video out there that I have made up a bed before. So
I got very offended by my father, who, in my opinion, was putting down my great-grandmother, my beloved great-grandmother, saying she raised her children like she did her dogs. She told you to do it, and if you didn't do it, she made you.
Right. And I mean, there were people last night speaking of what is referred to now as corporal punishment, but back then
she didn't. It wasn't that kind of. It was just she followed you and she did it with you. If you didn't,
well, we were told to go outside and get a switch, and we learned a long time ago that a small switch will tear up your legs. You need the big switch.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that.
I never had to pick. I never.
You never got switched? Mm-mm. Oh, I got switched. It'd stripe your legs. I mean, a little old.
I was raised by my grandparents. I did what I was told.
And also in Canton, and they were also talking about this, everybody in the neighborhood was allowed to beat you. I mean,
I believe that with you, Chip. I'm sure you got a butt whipping from a good bit of the women in Canton when you were young.
I hung out with the worst guy in town, Lee. I'm just going to say Lee. We were always getting in trouble. Doris would get us and start running us down the hall.
Oh.
And it was funny. It was funny. We did what we did, but we weren't allowed. But we were right. We grew up right, but we were punished. We got in trouble.
Yeah.
And I can remember it didn't matter whose house I spent.
Called consequences.
And then I had a friend that I grew up with, Greg, who my grandmother called the devil. But then she would also tell me, if I shave your head, it'll be 3 6s on it. I'd go, oh, that's so mean. Because she'd say the devil got in me. That's that.
Well, yeah, I've heard that. Like I remember hearing people say that they would, like with a child, you could see a child that was about to get in trouble. You could see their horns pop up. You know, you could see them about to get into trouble.
Well,
but 666 on your head is a little. That's a little intense.
Hey, my grandmother, she did religious chalk talks, and where you drew the picture and you talk it through. She had one for smoking.
Right.
And like the one she did on smoking, I can remember watching her doing that at the house. And then I can remember going out on the square in Canton, and somebody that she taught Sunday school, who was the clerk of Canton, Chancery clerk,
right,
lit up a cigarette in front of her. And I mean, he was in his late 40s. She slapped that cigarette right out of his mouth and said, "Billy, you don't do that." And I was just like, holy cow. My grandmother was 10. She was the tallest person in Canton. She's 10 feet tall. Or at least that's the way it seemed.
Yeah.
And she ruled the roost.
Wow.
And all my friends were the devil.
The devil.
It wasn't Chip. Chip wasn't it. It wasn't Chip.
It wasn't you. It was all your
Wasn't
friends
me.
that
It was
made you?
all my friends.
Because you came home and said, but I didn't do it. And you were the ringleader, I bet, weren't you?
I was I was a person who had a little influence on people, and that's why I want to influence our town.
Yes.
And basically, when I influence our town, it'll be my grandmother basically coming out of me, and because she taught me and she loved that city, and that's it.
Yeah.
You got to fix it.
Well, when you get to a certain age, everybody looks young.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
I look like kids, like you can go up and discipline.
We'll take a break here on the Clay Edwards Show and be right back. Remember, the Chip Matthews Show is every morning at 6 a.m. Don't you dare miss me and the lovely Taylor Turcotte doing our thing at 6 a.m. early in the morning. But filling in today for Clay, who is on assignment. We'll be right back. Filling in today for Clay, who is on assignment. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness, and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0.99% APR for up to 36 months. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
Pet emergencies don't wait, so why should you? At Urge Vet Emergency Vets of Madison, we offer low wait times and cutting-edge technology to provide fast, expert care for all household pets. Our hours of operation are weeknights 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. and 24 hours on weekends and holidays. Our phone number is 601-790-1918, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Because when it comes to your pet's health, trust the team that's fast, reliable, and compassionate.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond. When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call Peoplease. Let Peoplease take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. Peoplease is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust Peoplease to simplify their employee administration. Visit peoplease.com. That's peoplease.com to learn more.
Are you hosting an event? Let Burgers Blues Barbecue handle the food while you enjoy the moment. From an important lunch to a dreamy wedding, B3 Catering is sure to please everyone. Find Burgers Blues Barbecue online and click the catering tab or just give us a call. And when you're dining out, visit Burgers Blues Barbecue in Flowood, Brandon, or Madison for incredible plates served fresh daily. Burgers Blues Barbecue and B3 Catering, a delicious combination.
Hey everybody, it's John at Two Gun Tactical. We're having Kim Wade Wednesdays at both locations. So you come in and mention Kim Wade on a Wednesday, you get half price range fees. Hey, if you're a member, we're going to give you an extra free target just for mentioning Kim Wade Show. Come on in and work on your shooting and exercise that 2A right that if we don't fight for it, we won't have it much longer. It's twoguntactical.com. That's the number 2, guntactical.com.
An American home just doesn't seem complete without that flag hanging from the pole on the porch. And where do you get that flag? In Jackson, it's at a complete flag source, I-55 North. You'll find U.S. and Mississippi flags in all sizes. And yes, that new Mississippi flag is available along with international flags and all state and territorial flags. They can build your flagpole and repair that ragged old flag. It's at CompleteFlags.com. That's CompleteFlags.com.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules. Here we go. When necessary.
Breaking rules when necessary. Clay will be back tomorrow here on the Clay Edwards Show.
Okay.
It's been great to be here this morning.
It has.
We've had fun.
We have.
We haven't.
had fun.
I don't know if we've solved any problems in the world.
Well, it's not our problem. We're not here on the radio to solve them. We're here to bring attention to them. When we go out there, we have to solve them.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the weather that you told me to look up.
Yeah. She's going to be the weather bunny. Go
I'm
right
gonna be
ahead.
the weather bunny.
You'll be the weather bunny.
There's a possible risk of severe weather today. Wind and hail are our greatest threat.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like that's going to be coming through until probably about 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay.
It's going to be cloudy and stuff, but the rain's really not going to hit till about 4, 5, 6, 7. That's when we're going to have rain. So
It's going to be cloudy and stuff, but the rain.
That's
it's
it.
also
That's all you got.
Yeah. Well, you just told me a minute ago to look it up.
Well, yeah,
It's
you're
kinda-
supposed to go like Woody Wade said. Well, Woody says, the weatherman says.
I have to have training to know how to do it the right way. If you just throw it to me, I'm going to do it my way.
And do you remember that they used to have like the Jimmy Lyle's carpet, and they'd pull the carpets off to reveal the numbers behind them?
No,
You don't remember
I don't
that?
remember that, but I do see
Do
there's
you-
a lot of red around Oklahoma that will be here this afternoon.
Oh, yeah,
so we
it's
will
good.
have
It's-
trouble.
And like this morning, I got up extra early where I wouldn't be walking through the rain or swimming because they were redoing the my bridge to my house.
Mhm.
And so I had to go hike around, and it was a light sprinkle then, but it was supposed to be getting bad. And once again, it has not gotten
No,
bad.
it's tomorrow is gonna be bad. Tomorrow morning is when that's gonna be coming through. So tomorrow and Saturday we're gonna have a lot of rain.
And then we
bad.
have rain this afternoon when you're getting off of work.
And
So-
then Sunday it'll be beautiful there.
Okay, so y'all be careful if you're out there.
Mhm.
Go to the events you need to go to. Stay safe.
Yep.
Stay away from the gunfire. When you hear gunfire,
Mm-hmm.
please report it to 911 in whatever
Well,
city
don't even
you're in.
report it. Just call the number, even if it just rings.
Yeah.
Just dial 911 and let it just ring.
Yeah, because they need the information. I mean, we live in an information world to where you need to find out what went on.
Right.
And you know, when they look at the 911, we had a high volume of 911 calls at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It must have been
Volume,
and there
yep.
was 10 people killed. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
Well, that's what we need.
I never thought about volume showing up just from it ringing, whether or not anybody answered or not.
Yeah. Well, they're not answering because there's not enough people to answer.
Well, yeah, I knew that, but I didn't. I thought that I didn't realize that they would tag it as
It
15
records.
calls coming in and ringing, even though nobody picked it up.
Right. I mean, that's the way it is, and so
Yeah.
you have to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for us today. We've
Yeah.
had a great time this morning. Jameson Haygood, of course, coming up at 10 o'clock. Mike
Mhm.
Madison is next here at 9 o'clock, 9:07.
Mhm.
And then, of course, Radio Strongman at
Kim Wade.
Radio Strongman. Kim Wade at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Okay, we got 1
Listen to
minute.
Kim.
We got 1 minute.
We got 1 minute.
Does that help you?
1 minute.
Help you say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Okay, and you're going to tell people what? You're
Oh, I'm running for City Council, Ward 7 City Council in Jackson.
Right.
We need to vote on June 3rd.
Vote June 3rd, and
Yes.
you can register to vote through the 5th.
Yeah, through the 5th, May
Through the
May
5th. I've
5th. So
checked
that
that, so-
should be Monday. Is that Monday?
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo is Monday.
Okay. Well, you can register to vote in this upcoming election. So get out and do that.
Yep.
Get
We've
out
got
and
an
do
empty
that.
seat, and y'all, I think I have some ideas that really can bring Jackson back around.
And then the absentee voting will begin soon. So
Mhm.
y'all be ready to do that if you're involved in wanting to vote a little early.
Mhm.
So that you make sure your vote gets in and get counted. But it's always better to be there when it runs through the machine.
Yep.
Because once it runs through the machine, it cannot be taken off.
And you know that it went through the machine.
Right.
If you put it in there.
I am Chip Matthews. Thank you for letting us fill in, Clay. We'll see y'all 6 a.m. tomorrow on WYAB. I am Chip Matthews. Thank you for letting us fill in, Clay. We'll see y'all.
This is Central Mississippi.